Yeah,
That's
people
why.
are pissed about it because Oliver Stone makes such insightful and meaningful movies about topics that are made for people and made you to think. And then he makes something that's a little mindless and fun and gets back to the darker side. I think he was quoted as saying he wanted to make a movie he would have enjoyed as a teenager, which is awesome. And people give him shit for it. I mean, I get it was dark, but fuck you, get out of the theater, you puss.
No, I just didn't like it because it was a bad movie, and it's
Why
just,
is it a bad movie?
It's
What was bad about
surprisingly
it?
bad for how many good people were attached to this. Like
Okay, so
overwhelmingly good amount of talent behind it, and it was just so like this is dumb.
dumb. This was
This
dumb.
is just,
So
it's
you
just
think
dumb.
every
I thought
film
I
noir
thought
movie's dumb? Because this is just like any other film noir movie.
Well,
ever
I
made.
knew
It's
this
just-
You're
was
right.
gonna happen.
You're right. It was very unoriginal in that sense. You're right about that.
100%. That's what it
But-
is. It's just remaking something he loved when he was a kid and putting it in a 90s setting with same type of characters you would have. Just the fact is in the 90s, it could go darker because it was a time in the world where things were getting darker. So so you hate every other film noir movie ever made? Is that what you're saying?
That's a fucking wildly bold statement. Because
That's a
this,
true statement.
Because this one
Facts.
wasn't. I just thought this one wasn't executed very well. It was trying to
Yeah,
be all
you would
stylish.
because you're one of those pusses. You gets offended by things easily, even if it's on a movie.
You know what my favorite thing about you is, Schwartz?
That I'm always right?
That you
That you're always wrong?
you'll ask a question and then I'll say like 3 words and then you'll just start talking.
Because the words are so terrible that I have to interrupt and you make it good.
You like can't let people finish a fucking thought. You got to
Your
get
thoughts are
yours
booty.
in.
They're booty. It's doo-doo.
Well, I knew Schwartz was gonna love this movie, and I knew Jake was gonna hate this movie.
Yeah,
and
he's
the
predictable.
movie that you're making me watch today is U-Turn, 1997 by Oliver Stone. You guys have any haikus, or you want to just continue this?
I
I
got
have
I
a
got a
clue.
haiku.
I got a cue.
Oh, I like the way you both said that. Here, I'll go
Jake.
first. I'll go
My
first.
IQ's not that cool. I just have one.
I'm gonna go
All right,
first.
I'll go last then because mine's a good one.
All right,
Okay.
cool. My haiku for U-Turn: finger castration, money tribulations, and tree masturbation.
Yo, that's
Ooh, that was good.
I had the I
Finger
have it actually.
castration's crazy. Like that's good.
That's good.
That's why that was a good one. That's
That's good.
smart.
Let me
Smart-
ask you
smart
well,
phrase.
actually. All right, mine is mine's not even close to that. 90s noir gem, finishing behind a tree. Kill me or fuck me.
Okay.
Sweet, sweet.
You know what's funny?
I think I,
saw
had
this
Kill Me or
movie
Fuck Me on
Before
my.
you
one
say
of
it,
mine.
Jake, let me just go to that thing. When I saw this movie as a kid, and when until I watched the commentary and I never changed it, I thought he was hissing behind that tree. I thought he was peeing. I never knew until I heard Oliver Stone say, and I was like, oh my god, that makes so much more sense and that seems much more hilarious. But I didn't pick that up as a kid because I saw this when it came out. I saw this at a very inappropriate time as a kid, and this
Alright.
movie like helped my sexual awakening in a lot of ways. I'm not gonna be honest. I saw this when I was 11 years
Whoa.
old.
Oh, weird. Jake.
Weird.
J-Lo,
what's your,
dude.
what's
J-Lo,
your-
dude.
What's
Okay.
your,
My haiku. All right.
Here's
my
with the coup.
My haiku. Over the top slop. Bad characters in a cop. They wouldn't say pop because
that's
it's so
good.
poorly written. Even regionally, he didn't write the dialogue correctly. They wouldn't say
It's
pop. They wouldn't be
poorly
saying
written?
pop.
They say pop
Yeah,
in
dog.
Arizona.
No, they say soda. They say pop in the movie several
says,
times,
"Give me some
but
pop,"
regionally they wouldn't say pop. So fuck that movie.
You also
Interesting.
have a white guy playing a half Indian who pretends to be blind, so I don't think him saying pop
And that's just
his,
poor-
and his regional dialect has any fucking bearing
That's
on
just
this movie. Jake.
poor casting, I guess. I mean, John
Great
Boyd.
casting.
John Boyd
Supposed
is
to
poor
be-
casting.
supposed to
I gotta
be-
say, that character, I kind of enjoyed that guy a little
That guy
bit.
was great. He wanted Marlon Brando, but didn't work out.
This
That I could
cast
see that too.
is one of the most insanely talented casts I've ever
And they all
seen
kill it.
in a movie.
And they all kill it in this movie. They
I gotta be
fucking
honest.
do great jobs.
I think they all nail what
They
are
nail it.
supposed to
They
do.
fucking
Yeah.
nail it.
I think
Even
Joaquin
beyond the
Phoenix
cast,
is
dude.
hilarious. I think my favorite character is obviously Billy Bob Thornton. I think
he's great.
I think Billy Bob Thornton's best role.
He's great. For
I think
sure.
it's his best role over a fucking
Like
Sling
ever?
Blade.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Really?
100%.
I think it's great, but my personal favorite Billy Bob role is A Simple Plan. I think he was great in that.
I think he was better in this.
I mean, he's definitely a character in this. He's like a caricature character. That's the thing. This movie is over the top on purpose, obviously. I know you guys understand that. So
Goddamn cartoon, basically.
it
Yeah,
is. No,
it's too much.
When he told
It's
when
too
he
much.
when he told
exactly,
Ariel Moore,
exactly.
I mean, it's too much, I guess, if you're you don't want that, sure, but I don't think it's too much in the fact that it's too much because it's not good. I just think you don't like it. I don't think it's not good. I think you just don't want it to be that
That's
much.
fair.
So it's like, fuck that.
I haven't decided whether I like it or not, and it's
Yeah,
either
that's-
it's either
I-
a
and
1
that's
or a
awesome.
10. It's either a
That's
1 or a
awesome.
10 for me.
I love that.
And the fact that I learned, and afterward, because I wasn't really like paying attention to the opening credits, that Robert Richardson was the DP and Ennio Morricone. Is that his name?
Morricone,
Ennio
yeah.
Morricone. And he like those guys are fucking legends, and they looked. This movie looked fucking dumb, and the music was I felt was a parody. I thought during it, I'm like, oh, this is like a bad version of Marconi. Like I thought that to myself, and then I didn't realize until afterward, like, oh, he actually did it, because I hated the fucking cartoon sounds.
The music sucks.
The
So
score is
Oliver
terrible.
Stone told him he wants the cartoon version of himself. He
I
wants
know.
it to be like Looney Tunes. Those are his exact words.
No,
listened
he
to
showed
some
him. He
Oliver
showed
Stone
him
shit.
a Tom and Jerry cartoon. That's what he said in the document, whatever.
Yes. So
And not only that, Ennio Morricone got pissed off and stormed off and left and didn't want to do it, and they had to coax him back. I'm sure with a lot of money. And
it's
they
a
just,
great
and then
score,
and then
though.
did
It fits the movie perfectly.
I think Morricone,
the weird
was
noises, like the
purposely
bonks,
making
bonks,
the
those are
worst
amazing.
thing he's ever made. I think that's what he was doing, because he didn't like it, and he was purposely doing something awful. That's what I think.
You know what he was
Felt like it.
You know what he was doing?
Felt like it.
He might have done things out of spite, but he was also doing exactly what Oliver Stone wanted. He made it over the top. He made it cartoony. He made it something that you probably wouldn't think Morricone would do. So he did exactly what he was paid to do.
Yeah,
I guess
don't
that's sense. Yeah,
I
mean,
disagree with that.
I think we all watch that like Oliver Stone commentary interview thing. Like
I watched it until he said that about Morricone, and I turned it off because that kind of made me mad.
I don't
And
think I finished either, but
I
I know
didn't
got
want to hate
past
this
that.
movie
Yeah.
more than I already might.
Yeah, because it felt. I think even kind of mentioned that it felt like he was like almost apologizing for the movie. Like he felt like, I don't know, people don't like this, but
It was. It was.
I don't think
like
he's apologizing in any way. I think
felt
he
defensive
made that
in a
movie.
way.
It did.
I think
it felt apologetic and defense. It felt defensive in a way of like, oh, I mean, I realize like it's like he. I mean, maybe it was just
what I was
response to
going
all the
for.
haters.
Yeah.
Well, that's
what
the
I
thing,
was
like, if
going for.
everybody's-
Like if what you're going for didn't come across like that, sorry, that means you did a bad job.
I don't think it didn't come across. I think it came across very well. I think you just didn't like it. That's the point. It came across very well. It's just the thing he was going to do is make a film noir movie set in the 90s where the times can stretch it deeper. And he made a movie about incest. That upsets a lot of people. Like, I get that. He said that a bunch of times. Like, it's definitely not a topic that people want to talk about. It's not a topic that people are going to promote. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that all these stars were in the movie should show you guys that this isn't a bad movie. The script isn't bad. They wanted to work with Oliver Stone, who at this time was an A-list director, and they wanted to work on a script that was weird and different. Like
A good script
there's
can
no
still be
way
made bad.
that there's no way that this was a bad movie. It's the subject matter is what you guys don't like, but it's not bad.
No, I think a lot of
No,
people
it's
don't
true.
like the pure chaotic style of the movie. I think that's probably number one before anybody gets into the subject matter is how the movie looks. People can't get past
Sure,
that.
sure. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's a
And
didn't
the
thing.
like
music.
that.
I
He
think
did
the
it
fir- I
twice.
think that. I think
He did that
I know.
twice.
I know. And
He did
he
it with Natural
had
Born
some
Killers, he did
success
it
on
with
the
this.
first one. And I
Yeah.
think he thought, well, what if I turn that up to 11, you know, do what
Yeah,
all the cool
100%.
kids do what all the cool kids like Tarantino, you know, like what he's doing. Let me see if I could do one of those. And then
Well,
I think he
no,
went a
I
little
don't think
too far.
this is very Tarantino at all. I mean, I don't. To be honest with you, like I don't.
I don't think it is
in a
either. I think
way.
what I think he sees what he says. Oh, this is what kids like now. This Tarantino shit. Well, let me see if I could do something like that.
Oh,
And
okay.
he-
Yeah.
and he
Okay.
Yeah, I
miserably
agree with
failed
that.
at it.
Crime, flashy.
I
like,
think
just
he
that type of
he
movie.
accomplished exactly what he wanted to. It just wasn't a success commercially. That's what I don't think when you say he failed, I don't think he failed at anything. I think he failed to make money off of it, sure, but he didn't fail at doing what he set out to do. He did exactly what he set out to do.
I just don't think it was that good because it sounded like he
Not
was
if
trying
what
to.
he
Like,
said
Whether you
that's
think
how-
it's good or
not-
not, it's still true.
well, I
What
mean,
I
he
would
said
say
what
he
wanted to
failed
do.
at was a very specific thing. If this
Which
is what
was?
he was trying to do, then he failed at it, which was like what I said, like to see what he
To
had
get the
success
masses
on
to like
before.
it.
No, to see what he had a little. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
What he
Yeah.
had a little
Yeah,
success
yeah.
on before.
I agree with that.
See what Tarantino's doing and the cool kids like. I think he's trying to be a cool kid as an old man. That's what I was thinking. I mean, he was
Sure.
he was
He was like
60,
50
right?
something.
Yeah,
I think he was like
he was
50
trying
something,
to
yeah.
be a cool kid. I think he was just trying to be a cool kid. Or that's
Sure, yeah.
If that's the case, I think that he just kind of failed at that.
I mean, I also think he made a movie a year for 10 years in a row, and all those movies were very, very complicated, dealt with very, very crazy and serious subject matter, historical events, wars. I think he just wanted to do something to where it was like mindless and fun, and that's what he did. You know what I mean? I think that's more of what it was. Like, do I think what you said had a little bit to do with it? Yeah, like because Tarantino wrote Natural Born Killers, and then Oliver Stone rewrote Natural Born Killers and put his spin on it. So yeah, sure, maybe he was trying to do that, but I do think he set out to do what I don't think he's not the type of filmmaker who has to do things because he thinks it's what they want. Like I think it brought into it a little bit.
Not at this time.
What I mean? That's what I mean. Like I mean, his next movie,
and that's obvious.
Movie.
That's clearly obvious in this movie. Yeah. He did whatever the fuck he wanted. He just went.
Yeah.
Did he go a little too far? It's questionable.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Yeah.
I think.
I just don't think it makes it bad.
In his commentary, he says he went a little too far in a lot of things.
Sure.
I should have toned this down. I should have done this. I should have directed this better.
Well, did you guys hear any of what J-Lo had to say? She said some pretty crazy shit. Did you listen to that at all?
Yeah.
That was pretty,
Oliver Stone's
that was a little much. And then I was thinking to myself, like, at the time in the world, at the height of the power of movies in the 80s and 90s, and the fact that he's got, like, he was a guy who had never been questioned before, had never been told no. And so he thought he'd get away with it. And she was just like, fuck you. And that's pretty dope.
I mean, he did kind of get away with it.
Well, yeah, but, like, it was for the movie. Like, you heard what she said outside of the movie. Like, I heard that, like, well, I don't know.
What did you hear?
She also tried to add, like, he also tried to add, like, a sex scene that wasn't in the script. And, like,
well, he did. That's in the movie.
Like,
that's in the movie.
And, right. And he was just, I feel like there's a movie these actors probably signed up for was they probably had a good script at first. And also, yes, you're right. They all wanted to work for Oliver Stone. But I think what probably happened is Oliver Stone just went in there and was like, had this weird attitude about it because I don't know, he just seemed like he was like on one or something and made it all fucking goofy and probably changed a bunch of shit in the script. He probably was doing shit on the fly because it sounded like some people had difficult times working on this one. Like I heard Sean Penn also had a bad experience on the show. So
well, a lot of people don't like Oliver Stone. Well, that's the thing. A lot of people don't like Oliver Stone because Oliver Stone isn't a guy that holds his words. Oliver Stone says what he wants and shit like that. And I think that's why a lot of people didn't like him.
I think Oliver Stone is Nick Nolte in this movie.
It may be. I think Oliver Stone is just a dude who doesn't mince his words. You know what I mean? And he's known to be a dick, just like as I think as is Sean Penn. You know what I mean? But they did respect each other. I'll tell you that much. Okay. But going back to what you were saying about going back to what you were saying about, I heard that in their fitting for their costume fitting that Oliver Stone was like, "Yo, let me see your tits.
Show me your tits."
And then she was like, "No." That's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about. This is the thing for the movie. Like the fact that she didn't want to show her tits, she should have had that in her contract, I guess. But like I'm like, so she could have dealt with that. But asking someone to see your tits at a dress fitting, that's pretty fucked up. That's pretty terrible. And she said no, which is great. And but at the same time, it's like, why would he do that? You know.
I think then he added those like couple sex scenes. I think one of them didn't make it. Like there was like a sex scene with like Powers Boothe. I think.
Well, that's the one that made it that she was pissed about. So in the end, after they kill him,
flashback to it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In the end, when she's thinking about it in the car, that's what they added, and you see her tits in that.
Yeah, it's real. That's the only time you really see her naked.
Yeah,
and then because I guess during the other scene where she was fucking Jake or Nick
you don't
Nolte,
see nothing.
Yeah, she was wearing like the nightgown, but I guess
clothed.
that was like her suggestion, like he wanted her to be naked.
Yeah.
Like, I think she'd be wearing the nightgown.
Yeah, sure. Jennifer Lopez in the beginning of her career made some pretty epic movies. She made Out of Sight. She made The Cell. She made this. She made Selena. Like she was fucking killing it. She was doing.
Came out the same year.
Dude, Anaconda was still fun. She made she just was making some shit, dude. Like she was making some really good shit.
This was shit for sure.
I mean, she said she doesn't like it, and personally, I think this is her. I mean, I haven't seen all her movies. It's the worst movie I've ever seen her in.
I mean, I thought she was good at what she did in this movie. I thought she played it pretty well.
Everyone was just.
I kind of hated her.
None of the characters were really like.
I didn't understand her accent. I didn't understand her. I didn't understand anything. I didn't understand her. I hated her. I mean, I did hate her as a person. She was a fucking psychopath. She was
terrible. They were all terrible.
But I honestly think it was just some of her worst acting ever. I mean, I've never seen Geely.
I don't think she's a good actress.
Yeah, she's okay.
That's true. I mean, do I think she's great?
I'm saying she was just in some good movies.
Selena, she's pretty bomb. I think she was 10 times better in Anaconda. She had some kind of personality in Anaconda.
Yeah, I mean, in this, she was just supposed to be a really broken person who's just trying to fucking get out of a town, and she's gonna do whatever she can.
But she also like kind of played it dumb dumb, kind of didn't, kind of played it with an accent.
She's playing everybody.
Didn't.
I think she's playing everybody. She's changing her character at all times.
I think
that's one thing I loved about this movie is how at every moment everyone was willing to just like turn on everybody. I loved that. That was fun. That was super fun, and you really weren't quite sure how it was gonna end. And I loved the very last shot too. To be honest, like I think it was perfect. Because this movie is based on a story. It was a book before it was a movie.
Yeah.
And it was based on a story about a guy who went to Superior and then disappeared. That's the origin of this movie. And that's what this movie became.
Loosely based on true events.
That's what happened. Someone there's supposed to be a guy who went to Superior and was never seen again. And that's what and then they made this story out of that. That's what it was based off of.
I mean, I think they portrayed the town decently. Probably not the people within it.
Have you been to this town?
I've been to this town, yeah.
Is it like this?
I mean,
it was shot in Superior.
The people aren't over, like...
There's no Billy Bob?
There's no, like, people... I mean, I didn't really meet a lot, but it's very, like, a dead, super empty town. There's, like, maybe, like, a diner and a gas station and, like, a couple small things. But it's super, like, vacant. Like, everything's boarded up. Like, there's just streets that are, like, just not finished. Like, it's just very...
Yeah, like third worldy.
Abandoned, very, middle... So visually, it's what you see. Mm-hmm. But there aren't, like, crazy, like, over-the-top characters walking around everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm. That's the fake part. That's the cartoonish part. You know what I mean? That's the cartoonish part of it, purposely.
I don't like the characters of this movie because they're all very one-dimensional. They're all very just this, like, oh, they're just weirdos in this weird town. Like, there's nothing more. I don't think that
about Billy Bob. I thought Billy Bob was very multi-dimensional. I loved him. At first, you think he's just kind of this dumb hick, and then he's got fucking him by the balls, and then he's in his room playing fucking, and he sold his gun, never admits it, and then he's playing Twister in his room by himself, waiting for a waitress
with a parka on.
I thought he was hilarious. I thought Billy Bob,
his character was amusing, but
I actually also loved Claire Danes. I loved Claire Danes' character, man. I thought she was great.
Added nothing. TNT, on the other hand, was the man.
I just liked how she was. His character was more interesting and it was funnier, but she was just a girl. She was J-Lo trying to get out of that town, and she was all like, "Yeah, this guy loves me. We're gonna have his baby," just to piss him off and all that shit. Like she was just like at the end when he's gonna take me away. He's like, "What's your name?" But like when they're in the diner and he goes, "You want me to fight you over her?" And they show her and she's supposed to smiles. Like, that I love that. I love that. I'm just like, oh my god, fuck this chick. And like the guys at the counter are like, oh, this chick's at it again. Like, I don't know, man. I get that this wasn't deep. I get that it wasn't fucking prominent in the fact that like people should watch this movie, but for what he was trying to do and for the fact that I like movies about weird shit, it's perfect. It's awesome. It's almost like John Candy's movie Nothing But Trouble pulled off a little bit better. You guys ever watched that movie?
Yeah,
that movie is hated on
either.
It's fucking insane. That's an insane movie.
I see the comparison, sure, but
Jake, you don't like this movie for the same reason why I didn't like Godzilla -1, because it's too much to my side of it as opposed to your side of it. And when I say side of it, I just mean like things that you like about movies. You know
I guess you're right, because I think when you remember what I said about what your next pick is going to be was this. I fucking nailed the description. I'm like, it's going to be some 90s, like over-the-top crime bullshit wannabe Tarantino that's just
But it's not like, a wannabe Tarantino at all.
It
has nothing to do with Tarantino in any way.
I think
at all.
In
you
ways
can't compare it to that at all.
Like
it's a film noir.
Style. I think we compared it in the beginning. We all kind of agree.
It's a film noir.
And the crime aspect. There's just weird crime characters, which is Tarantino's specialty, is just the crime world. And I think
I guess the Russian gangster, sure. The Russian gangster, sure. I thought they were great.
I forgot about that shit, but they were
fun.
Even that to me is just like there's nothing more. All of these characters are the same. It was just 8 of the same dudes trying to kill each other and fucking Jennifer Lopez. Like nothing.
I loved the backstabbing. I loved the plotting. I loved the cinematography. Listen, Robert Richardson made 11 straight movies with Oliver Stone, and this was the last one.
This was the last one. Wonder why?
Yeah, well, it wasn't because
and then it became Tarantino.
It was because they didn't like each other. Well, he became Scorsese.
Yeah, I wonder why.
This movie, like,
I don't know. If I was Robert Richardson, I'd be like, "That's what you did." No,
maybe he's trying to. Yeah, he like, or are you trying to sabotage me because this movie looks like shit, bro?
You trying to
the movie does not look like shit. It looks.
I thought it looks like
a
shit.
Fucking
just dumb
nightmare
cutaways
cartoon
of like strange,
see on like Adult
weird
Swim.
lenses.
It was awesome
and fucking oversaturated, fucking.
That's fun though.
All grimy,
that's Robert Richardson's special. You ever seen the way he lights
angles.
anything, the way he lights fucking Kill Bill and fucking
those were clean, those were
fucking,
smooth, those were like, that was all good.
Glorious Bastards, tons of top fucking over the top lighting, super saturated, super harsh. Like that's his thing. That's why he gets hired to do his thing. Tarantino saw all these Oliver Stone films and was like, I want my movies to look like that, and that's why he works with fucking Robert Richardson
in the same style in other movies like JFK looks like this, Natural Born Killers looks like this, and those all like they're all like justified. This is just
he won an Oscar for JFK.
I know
exactly.
he did a great
Richardson
job.
won an Oscar for that movie.
This was not anywhere near the.
Richardson won best cinematography for that.
About this.
We
for
wouldn't compare this to that. Other than they have the same director.
I didn't say Oscar. I said the same DP.
The same look, same DP.
It had the same look, but this wouldn't be an Oscar conversation movie.
No,
well, because
Jake
of the content, not because of the cinematography.
No, because of the cinematography.
No, because you just compared the cinematography to JFK cinematography.
But I'm saying he did a great job.
It was very justified in JFK, and it was not justified. I think the cinematography was wildly unjustified in this movie.
Yes.
Whether it's good or bad, I don't know.
I mean, I think when you're telling a story that you want,
well,
it is. It's a film noir over the top cartoon. So this has to be justified to look like that. They did what they wanted to do, totally. Whether you like it or not,
he did what he wanted to do.
That's fine. Whether you like it or not, yeah, the guy who does what he wants to do. You're right.
Yeah.
The guy in charge did what he wanted to do.
I wouldn't put it on Richardson though. How this movie looks.
No, he was just doing what he was told.
DP.
Probably.
Of course, it's on him.
Well, he was
also DP'd. He also DP'd the other ones that look like that. It's definitely on him. What do you mean?
You still gotta tell. You gotta shoot the shots the director wants you to shoot.
100%. But he was voluntarily there.
Well, it was a
he
job.
voluntarily left after 11 movies. This was his last one.
After a fucking
bye-bye.
decade of workman, camaraderie in the workplace.
We don't
so
know
you're
why.
saying the reason why. So you guys are just saying this though. You have nothing to back.
You don't know
why.
We don't know why. We know are the facts. Is that after 11 years of work, this was his last movie. Those are the facts that are. Those are the only facts we know.
But that doesn't mean it's because of the way they shot this movie.
But those are the facts. After 11 years, he shot this movie.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe, but you can't.
That's what happened.
That's like the.
That's what happened. Those are the facts.
We don't know why. Together again.
Exactly.
That's the only fact.
After this movie.
Yeah, cool. After 11 movies, sure.
Yep. After 11 movies, this was his last one.
Sure, that's a fact. But it doesn't mean that's why.
What's why?
That's not a fact. That's your opinion, and that's what you want it to be.
It could be why. Is all.
Yeah,
I think
you're right. There's a chance.
It could.
There's a chance.
We're just theorizing here. We're theorizing.
You got a better theory. You got a better theory. Hit me with it.
Another theory of why they didn't work together. I think because he called him. I've heard him. I mean, I've heard Oliver Stone talk about this many times before because of just how interviews I've read, and he said that they just had a relationship where like brothers and they fought for a long time. And he's like, if I wouldn't have been making movies so often, it probably would have happened earlier. The fact is, they just kept making them and making them and making them and making them. He's like, if I would have taken 3 years off, like he probably would have went on earlier to leave and worked with other people. That's why he
chose
after
this movie to leave.
Yeah, I'm curious if there was a final straw or they just
I don't know. But you could think it's this movie if you want. You could put it in your imagination.
It might have been. I'm just putting it out in the world. You know,
there's a timeline.
Who knows?
You can deduce things from patterns.
Might not have been.
You can deduce things.
Might not have been.
Probably not.
It might not have been.
Just a hypothesis based off of a series of events.
Probably is. Based off of the facts we know. I don't know.
There's only one fact that this was the last one. That's the only fact.
That's that. After 11 years of hard, loving work and great talent together,
and that all of those other movies were better, and they were all better and well shot, and like this is
I can't wait to score this.
One of the worst movies to pick.
Score it.
Or Oliver Stone. Like I wish we would have done a different Oliver Stone.
Certainly his worst movie. Yeah.
I am definitely glad I picked this for Oliver Stone, and this is definitely not his worst movie. He went on to make World Trade Center. He went on to make Savages. He went on to make the only good movie I think he's made since. Well,
it's almost like this was his downfall.
No, because he made Any Given Sunday after this, and that was a much better film. That was an amazing movie.
He got that. That one was a good one.
That one was really good. But then after that,
it's the same look, same editing, same style. No Richardson. So that's what I meant before.
Well, no, that's not even close to looking like this. Not even close.
But it's the same editing style. The same. It's the same.
Yeah, but this was at like a 90. That's at like a 10. You know what I mean? Natural Born Killers Killers is more crazy than Any Given Sunday in editing for sure. Natural Born Killers is much closer to this.
But it's there. His
some of
thing
it,
is there.
But those were there. After that, he didn't really do that anymore. Because you know what he made after that? He made Alexander, which was probably the worst film he ever made. That is his worst film. Alexander is a terrible movie.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's horrible. It's really bad.
There's a lot I haven't seen. Also,
Snowden. He made Snowden.
He did a lot of good.
He
did a lot of good
movie.
And I feel like he's had.
I think he does a lot of docs too.
Yeah, he does a lot of docs. This is the thing. He had a great run. The motherfucker made Platoon, fucking Wall Street, Born on the 4th of July, fucking JFK, Nixon.
JFK is good.
Fucking all those movies, fucking in a row. It was pretty wild.
Didn't he make W?
He made
W was pretty good. W was
yeah,
actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's made some fucking bangers. I mean, he also wrote a lot of movies before he became a director. He wrote Scarface. He wrote a couple movies. He won an Oscar for writing a movie before he became a director.
I always forget he wrote Scarface.
Yeah,
I always just think that's just De Palma.
De Palma had to kick him off set because he would come on set and like tell Al Pacino like different shit. De Palma would like direct you. He says it. De Palma
what a
says
world,
it
man! He just having Oliver Stone and Spielberg randomly shown up to his movie like, hey, it's cool. We should do it like this.
Yeah. Well, he invited Spielberg, but he didn't invite Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone wasn't anybody at this point. Oliver Stone was like on the come up. You know what I mean? He was still like a young writer. So I guess he would come in and he was like, yo, get that fucking guy off the set. He's
Have you thought about putting the camera right here?
No, he wouldn't say it to him. He would say it to Pacino. He'd tell Pacino like acting things. He'd be like, yo, do it a little differently. And Paul was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. That's funny.
What a piece of shit, I guess, is what we're trying to load.
I mean, from what I have read even before this, and I've met Oliver Stone. I met him with my buddy Dave. We were promoting a doc we were working on, and he was promoting a doc he was working on in like 2016. And we went to one of his interviews in his press conferences, and I met him, and he just looked like a grumpy fuck. This was like 2015, so like he was older.
He's been
way
a
older
grumpy
than this.
fuck for 30
he's been a grumpy
years
fuck
now.
for a long time. Yeah, he definitely is not. He's definitely not like a nice person. I don't think. I mean, I'm also not knowing, but like just from what I've seen and what I've heard, he's definitely not a nice person.
He seems
all right.
like
So
a
should
tool.
we talk about this movie of what happens? At least it's pretty simple. I don't think there's.
Very simple.
I mean, it's pretty simple.
Start. I'm gonna go pee while you start. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna wait for Jake. So you hated this movie, as much as Jake did?
I didn't say that.
Okay. Should I just start then? All right, fuck it. I'm gonna
Start. Just give us a once over. Like, what's the movie about? A grifter driving through Arizona, gets stranded in a small town, has to leave his car with a crazy guy, meets up with a couple other locals, meets up with a guy and his wife who wants to kill each other.
Why are you telling? Let me go through it.
That's all. That's what. That was literally not a spoiler if you saw the trailer.
Okay, cool. Well, let me
literally
go through
not a spoiler. Now,
so
go ahead.
The movie opens up with a dude driving in his fucking 1964 and a half red fucking Mustang. And it sets the tone very quickly with the camera angles and the music, which, as you first talked about,
and the opening titles
is very over the top, very weird, very experimental. If you've seen Natural Born Killers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of things don't make sense. A lot of colors change, film stock change. They'll go to a wide lens. They'll go to a tight lens. Like whatever you want to do. Like just no holds barred. And the music is pretty set up like that too. It's like it's a Looney Tunes score. So he's driving through his fucking radiator.
The
breaks.
Titles are nothing to overlook. The titles,
titles are
kind of set.
I've seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So
insane.
Yeah, but Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas also came out
Loathing.
after this, by the way. So don't get that twisted.
Did it?
Yes, came out a year later. Don't get that twisted.
Allegedly.
No, look it up. It's a fact. You can see it. It came out after this.
Look it up.
Can we just go through the actors in it? Talking about the titles.
So it starts if it's Sean Penn, Billy Bob Thornton, Jennifer Lopez, Powers Boothe, Nick Nolte, Claire Danes, Joaquin Phoenix, Laurie Metcalf,
Liv Tyler shows up in the background.
So I listened to on that thing. He said the only reason why she's in the movie is because she was dating Joaquin at the time, and she came to visit set on the day. So they're like, yeah, well, you just play the girl in the background, and that's how she got in.
No lines, hilarious, instantly recognizable.
Yeah, chewing on gum. So yeah, Fear and Loathing definitely stole a lot from this. Well, that's another good thing Jake pointed out. A lot of visual style Fear and Loathing stole from this. I'd like to point that out a little bit.
Superior movie. Let's all be honest.
It has a
I thought it was 96
script,
for some reason.
But the cinematography is just as cool in this, maybe a little cooler because it's a little more over the top. And Robert Richardson shot it, and he's known for being the man. Definitely my favorite DP of all time. Not saying for this movie, just overall, I think his body of work, the movies he's directed are absolutely insane. The movies he's DP'd, the directors he's worked with he's got I get that Deakins is great, but I think he's got a better career than Deakins personally.
I don't know about that. We would have to have that conversation, but continue.
What was I gonna say? So anyway, his he gets to a U-turn and he takes it and he goes right, and then his radiator breaks. and he ends up having to go to.
Do we ever even see a U-turn sign? It's more of a fork in the road. Not
no, we do.
that matters.
It says U-turn.
It's on there. It says,
and then in the end, when he's about to leave, it says no U-turn. So he turns at the U-turn, turns into this
message
to this body shop, and you get the first glimpse of what is his name in this movie? What's Billy Bob's name?
Billy.
Daryl. Yeah, Daryl. You get the glimpse of Daryl.
He pulls up into Harlan's shop and finds Daryl.
Run by Daryl. And how would you describe this guy? He's just
he's
greasy. He's fat,
solid black in grease. He's fat as fuck, sweating with like a welder's cap on. Just
got all gold teeth.
What is it? His teeth? I don't even know what his teeth are.
He's just gross.
Big teeth, thick, big dick glasses. Just kind of a nasty, grimy looking dude at first. Kind of a real dumbass.
Yeah, he sucks.
And you see him rolling up from under a car. Who turned off my music?
Yeah. Introduced in a pretty great way. And it's Billy Bob Thornton. It's Billy Bob Thornton who actually gained 50 pounds to be in this movie, which is absolutely insane.
I didn't know. It was an hour, 8 minutes until I knew that was Billy Bob Thornton.
Basically, they have a talk and you realize that Sean Penn is a terrible guy. He don't give a fuck. He's a fucking asshole. He's arrogant.
What right here do we find?
Schemer.
How do we think he's terrible right here?
Because of the way he treats Billy Bob. He acts like he's shit don't stink. He acts like he's better than him every way. He basically calls him a fucking loser. Tell him that he's only passing through this town. He's got to live here. And he's got the air of scumbagginess to him too. You know what I mean? And you also see that for some reason,
Billy Bob's no gem to him right off the bat.
No, he's not. But this is the thing: you're in this guy's town. You know what I mean? Like this guy. If I encountered this guy, I wouldn't be offended by him. I would be intrigued. Whereas Sean Penn was offended by him, so fuck him. You know what I mean? He's got that asshole this to him right off the bat. And
everyone's a piece of shit in this movie. To be clear,
I think Billy Bob is the least piece of shit in this movie. I think he's just an honest working guy trying to get his money for doing his work. Did he sell his gun?
He's scamming the right guy.
Did he sell his gun? We don't know.
Did he sell? He tells him he sold. We don't know. Nolte's like, I bought the gun from Daryl. No. He goes, that's my gun.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Lopez goes, where'd you get that? So you're like, oh my god, Daryl sold this guy the gun. That's great.
Yeah, but Daryl denies it.
Yeah. That Twister scene is funny. I also heard on the commentary that Twister was Billy Bob's idea. They weren't supposed to be in the script. Him playing Twister was all Billy Bob's idea. Also, showing up looking like that was Billy Bob's idea. Like cutting the shirt in half and gaining all the weight. Like that was all him.
Yeah, I feel like Stone gives a lot of leeway to his actors.
Yeah, but a lot of the directors do. That's why you hire actors. I was listening to Peter Dinklage talk on Hot Ones about that.
I think it depends on honestly, I think it depends on the quality of the director.
I mean, yeah, Oliver Stone's a great director, though, dude. Oliver Stone's directed many of award-winning movies that's made, you know what I mean?
Not after this, but yeah, true.
I mean, he made Any Given Sunday, which was a great movie, better than this in a lot of ways. He also made W and Snowden.
Those were good movies. We already had this conversation.
Yeah, so stop talking shit then. Stop trying to take those little jabs.
I'm not jabbing. What I'm saying is I would put Tarantino better than him, and I don't think he gives a lot of leeway. I would put the Coen brothers better than him, and I don't think they give a lot of leeway. I think like the best of the best probably don't give a lot of leeway.
Well, they also hire the actors,
and they write their own shit.
Oliver Stone wrote most of his shit. Oliver Stone has Oscars for writing movies.
He didn't write this.
He didn't write this. No, he didn't get credited for writing this. He did a lot of rewrites on this. I just read that.
He did. A lot of these ideas were his.
No, they were. He tried to put as many of them as he could. He said, but he also wrote fucking Platoon. He also wrote Born on the 4th of July. He also wrote Wall Street. You know what I mean? Those are fucking insanely great written movies. Stop jabbing, dude.
I'm not jabbing. He's a
great
director.
Do I think Tarantino is a better director? Sure, definitely. Tarantino, I've liked more Tarantino movies, definitely. But at the same time, it's like Oliver Stone in the history of directors is definitely in the top fucking 20, 25 directors.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
I'm not going to disagree with that.
What were we talking about? Where were we? Talking about Billy Bob. So yeah, he meets Billy Bob, realizes that he's a little bit of a schemer. And he leaves his car there to get fixed. And he takes his bag of money. He's got a bag of money, you see. And he starts walking down the road to a diner. Or no, where's he walking to?
No, he takes his shit. He hides his gun in the trunk, locks his trunk, gives the key to homeboy, and says, be nice to the car. It's a 60. I love how they describe it as a 64 and a half Ford Mustang. Like, who's ever put a half on the year of the car? I just thought
he's
that was
douchebag.
Kind of funny. It's a 64.
Well, I think that's actually I think that's a thing. I think it was like something they released something like 2 different models or something that year, which is traditionally like there is a story behind it. I specifically don't know, but I've heard something about that. I don't want to like.
Well, thanks for bringing it up.
Theory, but yeah, it's a thing. I think it's something like that where like they release two models, so they refer to that one as like half.
Still funny.
Like the second model, something like that.
You took a little comedy out of it, but I think it's still funny.
Yeah, because it's this movie's not funny.
So yeah, he hides the gun. He grabs his back. He's like, "Yo, can you not look at what the fuck I'm doing back here, please?" And Billy Bob's like, "Sure." Then he just goes a little farther and looks.
God just speaks around the corner.
He wanders his way into town, and he comes across a homeless, half Indian, blind man with a dead dog.
Yeah, he asked him to get him a pop, which Jake says is not in the dialect, but Jake also has a wig on.
I could see how people hate on this character. I thought he was kind of funny.
I thought he was amazing.
I also think he's the exact same character from Anaconda.
He could have been. He made it back to back.
I think he came back from. He was blinded from being swallowed.
Oh, you think it's the guy from Anaconda?
Yeah,
that's amazing. I love that.
I think he was blinded, not killed, because at the end he winks. Remember, and I think, but he was like he was blinded after that. Wandered his way up up to America.
He got out of the Amazon somehow.
Of course. I mean,
he got to America. He got to this.
He got to Arizona. He was like, man, I fucking hate the tropics. I'm going somewhere dry. And he made it up into Arizona, and he fucking hung out there. Maybe he.
I love that.
Let's see. No, this would have been after the war, so he already served in Nam. Although that was probably a lie.
Well, he told the lie about Nam, so he didn't have to talk about the snake shit. You're right.
Did he say that he didn't go?
He said
Nam?
he went to Nam. I think
he's
in that movie. He said he got blinded by a man who he fucked his wife or something like that. So that's not how he got blinded.
Yeah, that's not how he got blinded. I don't know if that meant he didn't go to Nam. I don't know.
No. He said he went to Nam. He goes, "You're gonna make me use my own change. I served you in Vietnam. Make me pay my own change, which is Royal Coming to." He says that to him,
and he never took that back.
Stolen valor, probably.
Maybe. I mean,
it's possible.
Knows?
Yeah, that's all. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. He said no.
Yeah.
Because he also wasn't blind.
Yeah. In the end, he wasn't, and his dog wasn't dead.
Spoiler.
Yeah. So
wow, it's almost like everyone in this movie is a lying piece of shit.
100%. Everyone in this movie is a lying piece of shit. That's why it's fun. Jake.
Who's the best character in this movie? I bet Liv Tyler's the only character that has redeemable qualities because she had no lines and she's pretty.
True.
The chick, I kind of felt
Lori
bad.
Metcalf helped him.
Lori Metcalf,
she helped him out.
The bus lady.
That was probably the funniest scene in the whole movie.
That was pretty funny. I don't know, man. I thought the way Nick Nolte would go in and out of being like when he asked him to like do it in the car, and he's like, "Yo, will you kill her?"
He passes by John Voight.
Yeah. Then he walks away because he gets pissed at him.
Yeah. Well, and then he walks away because he notices J-Lo walking.
Oh yeah, he sees her walking down the street carrying all the blind shit, and he offers to help her carry her. Yeah. He calls her pretty. He calls her beautiful. And she's like, "Don't call me that." And then he's like, well, "What's your name?" She's like, "My name's Grace." And then this is where you see Powers Boothe drive by. Powers Boothe is the sheriff of the town who actually, if it wasn't for Powers Boothe's character, none of this movie would even happen. He's the only person that progresses the script in this movie in any way. Every time something's about to happen, he shows up and makes it like okay for our homeboy, our main character. So you see this guy, he's the sheriff, and he notices our main character, who's also, we haven't talked about, missing 2 fingers on his hand. He's bleeding. He's got his hands wrapped up, and he's got little stubs. He's got little fucking blood clots on his
nubs, dude.
Shit. He's got little nubs. And Jennifer Lopez is like, "Hey, why don't you come to my house and help me hang my blinds, and you can take a shower and drink some cold lemonade?" And he's like, "All right, I'll come bang you."
We know what that means.
Yeah, I'll come bang you, J-Lo. You're still.
Well, yeah, it's pretty funny.
I don't know who wouldn't get into that Jeep, dude.
She goes from like, get the fuck out of here to, you know what,
She's insane. She's fucking, dude. She's been fucking her dad her whole life, bro. Like, she is fucking insane. Spoiler. So anyway, so you
dad fucking.
You meet Powers Boothe, and you see that right off the bat that, oh shit, this guy's fucking J-Lo too. You can just tell. He's like, this guy's got a thing for J-Lo. So he don't like. I don't
the
think way she looks at him
ever evident until the very end or on a second watch. I think that is
out of here.
I think that's. I think no way.
And even when Nick Nolte later on in the movie sees Powers Boothe and homeboy in the car and goes, you see my wife, and the way that Powers Booth says,
I think that's because you know it. I don't. The first time I saw that, it was absolutely not evident.
Jake, what about you?
The second time I watched it, I did think, oh wow, they kind of like linger on that for a second. But I think the first time I watched it, I did.
All right, Jake,
maybe I'm a fucking retard, but
no, that's fine. What about you, Jake? Did you know that right off the bat?
I don't know if I assumed they were fucking, but when the first drive by, it definitely seemed like he had a thing for her.
Thank you. That's all I mean. Like they were like they had something. Like I guess.
But I guess I didn't
expect.
I didn't like
stops,
think that they were fucking again till the end though. Like once that reveal,
the sheriff
I was like,
stops because
oh,
there's
okay.
a new guy in town. That's what I was seeing. I did not see that linkage.
I guess that is definitely part of it.
Certainly the second time I thought about it, but I don't think it's that obvious. Maybe
he just had those eyes.
Yeah,
he lingered on both. Like
it's also the way she looked at
also,
him.
Yeah, like
the way she looked at him is what I'm talking about. Almost like you know what I mean? Like that's what she did.
Well, there were a couple things upon second watch where there's a couple things she says to him of like
Boothe?
Later on. I can't even remember what it is, but she said something to him like "I'll see you later," or like it was something like I don't know. It was something like, "Oh shit, maybe that's when they're planning their thing that we figure out at the end of the things that they were planning on their thing."
Sure.
So there are. I do agree that it is, but for me, it was all second watch stuff. First time I watched it, I'm so caught up in how fucking insane this movie is. I'm not. It's substance or it's style over substance in
100%
every way. So
100%.
I'm watching the craziness. I'm wondering why they're cutting in and out of fucking black and white.
Sure, 100%. I'm not. That's evident for sure.
Wasn't there only one black and white shot?
There was one, in the beginning.
Yeah,
At this point,
isn't
I was
the end
thinking,
too with the mom when they show the mom dead? I think they have a black and white shot end too.
Maybe that was the only one that was used properly. But
they showed like a picture of like Native Americans.
Again, that's
like they flashed
judgment.
like a black and white picture of like Native Americans at the very end. Like I think it was like during the credits.
Well, they
really pushed that at the end there.
When he's going,
that's another thing that's just come out.
When he's going, well, it's Oliver Stone, dude. He's a guy who talks about like how like people fuck with other races and shit like that. So he was trying to show how like she was not American, and she was another race that she was kind of caught up in this shit between all these white guys. That was the point of that. That's what he does. He's movies.
And they had to force it on you. I guess thought it felt like a little bit Native American at all. Somebody had to tell you.
Yeah, that was Jenny from the block, dude. That was a Puerto Rican girl from Brooklyn. Like
I read
that was no Native American.
I read that they wanted Sharon Stone because she wasn't going to be Native American at all, and then she couldn't get a deal done because she wanted more money, and so Oliver Stone then watched. He
just saw Dance with the Wolves, and then like
he watched Anaconda. I swear to God.
Really?
No, what was it? He watched something with her in it.
I need both of these actors.
And he was like,
"Get me Voight and J-Lo."
He said that she looked just like pure, like someone who would be corrupted, and like that's who she was supposed to be, just like the most corrupted person. That's why he got her.
He was watching Pocahontas on one screen and Anaconda on the other. He's like, oh, what? Oh.
I don't know, man. Jon Voight, Billy Bob Thornton, Powers Booth, Joaquin Phoenix, Claire Danes, they did the job, man. Whatever it is you guys hate about what they did really well. Like they were fucking awesome.
I just think they were all
never said the word hate at all.
One-dimensional. Everyone was the same.
Stop putting me and you guys, dude. You and Jake are arguing. I'm not arguing.
That's my complaint. That's my observation. That's what I have.
I do think Claire Danes was the least.
I agree.
The movie's very one-dimensional. But Jake, this is the thing. Just because it's one-dimensional doesn't make it bad. Like this movie wasn't supposed to be deep.
Doesn't help.
Sure. To you it does. Sure. But like, I mean, and that surprises me too, because you love movies like Boyhood, which is goddamn one-dimensional.
Let's not act like Jake's the only person that's ever hated this movie. This movie came out to.
I'm not talking to those people though. I would say that to all those people. If I could,
this is universally hated.
This is almost universally hated.
This is hated for sure. But Oliver Stone said that this is the most people that are like, yo, I fucking love this movie. You know what I mean? 100% cult classic, definitely. I love that. And that's what I love about it.
I've never heard anyone talk about this movie.
A lot of people haven't seen this movie, but a lot of people love it. A lot of people
calling it a cult classic would be like
the people that I think it is a cult classic because the people that would want to seek it out are go nuts on it. Like the people that want to watch it, they're the ones that love it. Nobody's going to seek this out to hate it except for us because we have to.
Well, I don't know. I talk a lot of movies with a lot of people, and no one's ever been like, you ever seen U-Turn?
A lot of people didn't see it. And the only reason people didn't see it is because they didn't really release it anywhere. They like the people who produced it were like, we fucking hate this, so we're not going to let people see this. That's the biggest reason. It's not because they didn't want to see it, Jake. It's because they didn't get to see it.
Let's talk about October 1997. Devil's Advocate came out. Kiss the Girls came out. Boogie Nights came out.
Jackie Brown
came out. 7 Years in Tibet. I Know What You Did Last Summer. A lot of fucking really banger movies came out, and then U-Turn came out. It's gonna get overlooked.
Well, it also
got it was good.
People didn't release it though. You know what I mean?
Sure, because they saw it and they're like,
so it got
it just
overlooked.
it pisses
this
people
movie
off.
probably didn't get
It
its fair
pisses
chance, to
people
be
off.
honest.
It did not get its fair chance. I'm saying this movie, it's not bad, Jake. It pisses people off. It's not like it's not.
I disagree with both of those statements.
Would be like saying that what's another movie made to really be be like saying Royal Tenenbaums is bad. Like that movie is 100% what it is, and some people love it, and some people are like I can't get behind that. Like it's not realistic. Like I can't. That's what this is. It's not bad. It's just it's for you or it's not for you. It's like Anthony said. It's
that
a 1
subjective.
or a 10. There's nothing in the middle.
If you want. You can call it.
You know what I mean?
I think
it's
a bad movie.
Yeah,
I don't think it's well done. I don't think it's well written. Maybe it's probably well acted because of the the caliber of talent they have.
I think the script is wildly entertaining.
Thank you.
I would say I wouldn't say it's not. I wouldn't say it's poorly written.
Yes or no?
I think it's a pretty entertaining script. All the shit that goes down is very compelling.
I agree.
Like I was never bored. It's a long ass movie. I was certainly never bored watching it.
I agree. I think it's very entertaining. I think the things that are happening, people just don't like. Not that doesn't mean it's bad though. It just means you don't like it.
I think
like
the style
kids,
of the movie
I mean?
is heavily what people don't like.
Yeah, I kind of think it's more of the darkness of the incest and shit like that. I think if this movie did have incest in it, I think a lot of people would have seen this movie more than they did because then the production company would have released it in way more theaters and promoted it way more.
That's a good argument. The rabies
100%.
stuff didn't need to be there.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what this movie was, man. That's what the point of it was.
I mean,
so
the rapey stuff gave J-Lo all of her motivation.
Yeah.
True. I guess that's very true.
I'm not condoning rape in movies.
It's just this. It's not that all that shit didn't even bother me.
Anything that happens in this movie.
What bothered me was just this, just this series of events and the dumb characters. That's mostly it.
Do you know what movie this most reminds me of? Just a little bit more visually insane is True Romance. This is True Romance jacked up visually. That's what this is.
On 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love True Romance, and I think you do too. So
look, there's a lot of movies that are similar
that
I like.
You hate movies about characters that aren't likable. You know what I mean? That's what I think it is. And that's fine.
I disagree with that.
Well, then what makes you hate this movie? What you just said?
Why do you hate?
It's not that they're unlikable.
Schwartz, stop telling him why he hates this movie. Let him.
Please let me actually say like a full sentence. I will
mute you, Schwartz.
There we go. Fuck off.
I can't hear what you're saying. I'm kidding.
I muted myself.
It's the one-dimensional characters. It's the fact that all of these people are the same. They have no like real depth to them. There's no real motivation. There's no real reason they're like this other than they're from this crazy town. Like I just don't care about these people because there's no justification. They're nothing to me. They're just cartoon characters. I don't care.
That's true. I think the only character you need to know anything about is the main character. Like we don't really. It's not long enough for us to learn in depth about anybody else, right? So like we know enough. We know why he's going across to where he's going. That turns out to not matter at all. We know what happened to him in the meantime, and we know how it ends. Like it's just us following it. It's very Cohen in that way of dropping us in a story mid-story, and it playing out until everybody dies.
No, for sure. It also reminded me of Blood Simple,
or even
those type of characters. A lot
even
of
Fargo.
There's a lot of good movies. I could see
which is why I don't think it's a bad
script. Similarities.
I think it was probably written very well.
That's why I just think it was somehow poorly executed. Probably a bad script.
Yeah, but this is the thing, Jake.
That's what I think about it.
So
the movies I do like. There's a lot of movies.
He wrote Three Kings,
that I do like.
12 Years a Slave.
He won an Oscar for 12 Years a Slave. Yeah,
Three Kings though.
I know there's crazy talent behind this film, but it just turned out like dog shit.
So Jake, besides for the one-dimensional characters, which are one-dimensional on purpose, because like Anthony said, you're supposed to care about the one person navigating the town, which is also a character, which is the point of this movie. The point of this movie is you're seeing a guy go to a town where it swallows him up, and the characters don't have depth because the only reason they're in this script is to swallow him up, and everything they do swallows him up, and that's it. That's all it's about.
Superior, Arizona is a
Sarlacc pit. And so hold on. So besides for that, what do you hate? What make this movie suck? Besides for the characters, what else? What else do you hate about this movie?
I didn't like the way it looked either. The way it was stylized was just overdone. Everything was too much. Everything was
an understandable argument.
That was something there for sure. Yeah, like
okay.
they didn't just the weird fucking choices they made with the way certain shots were. It was just too much. That's, I guess, really is.
Also,
that's
I just Googled why did Robert Richardson stop working with
I bet you
Stone,
did.
and he said it says right here because of the movie U-Turn.
Love it.
Yeah, show me. Turn your camera over.
Right there.
Yeah. Everybody Google it.
But just, you know, for the record, that's fact.
Yeah,
I don't think
internet.
you can. I think people are gonna hate this or love it based on style and substance. But I mean, it's style over substance. So I think that's probably why people aren't gonna watch it. They're gonna turn on the opening credits and be like, nah.
Yeah, a lot of you're right. I get this, not for everybody.
It's not gonna even get to the
think
incest.
It's fair
you know?
to say it's bad. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's bad. Like you can't say it's not well done because they did exactly what they tried to do. Like if you don't like it, that's fine, but it's not bad. Like I didn't really enjoy Godzilla -1, but I know how good it was made. Like I get that it's a well-made film. Like that's what pisses me off about what Jake's saying. Like he's just like, no, it's bad. It's like there's nothing bad about it. It's like, yeah, but okay.
I mean, it was. I guess in that sense, it's all right.
What did you like about it, Jake? Who was your favorite character?
Probably Billy Bob. Like he was the funnest. He was like the through line through it all, and he was kind of like.
I mean, he's the one that
he was the big motivator.
Progressed
like,
the story
for sure. Like every time he went back, he needed more money or like whatever, and he set up all these things.
He could have gotten out of there 3 times, and it was the 3rd time he went back that I went like this. That's fucking Billy Bob Thornton, because he had like he cleaned his face off a little bit, and then I closed. I think I was like looking away, and I heard him talk. And I thought that because the whole time I was thinking I haven't seen Billy Bob Thornton in this. Like, where does he come in? He's probably gonna have some small stupid character. But no, it was the fucking second guy we saw on the screen.
Yeah,
Daryl. That whole opening conversation, and a lot of the conversation I feel like is written to sound like Tarantino. Maybe not to sound like it. Maybe it's just their own thing. Maybe that's just what I'm putting because that's kind of how Tarantino has those little like.
I think why you're comparing it to that is because of this. Tarantino writes interesting characters, and the thing is about this town is just populated with people who are not normal. So that's what it is. It's like the conversation is going to be weird because these people are fucking weird. And if you think about it, all the characters in Tarantino's movies are just characters themselves. Like, do you actually think Ordell Roby actually and fucking Jules Winfield actually would talk like that? Like that's just like the dream. That's just like the dream cinematic talk. You know what I mean? Like it's just perfectly entertaining. And that's what like
and really only one person does it that well.
I mean, sure. I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson writes dialogue very well. He just doesn't have it as pop culture-y as Tarantino does. But I mean, I think Paul Thomas Anderson writes dialogue almost as good as Tarantino. But yeah, who else writes really great dialogue? Woody Allen's got some pretty great fucking dialogue.
Cohen.
Of course, the Coens write amazing dialogue. You know what it is? The Coens just create amazing characters. Like I love Tarantino's dialogue, but I love the Coens characters. It's like if the Coens characters were saying what they were saying, but didn't look like they did, it would be less effective. You know what I mean? They just always have such great like Anton Chigurh, his haircut, or like you know what I mean? Or
they're much more believable in some ways.
For sure.
Which is what,
they're grounded for sure. Yeah. Definitely grounded. Tarantino makes over the top things. The Coen brothers make the same type of things, but grounded versions of that, 100%. And their dialogue isn't quite as quippy. Tarantino's just a little bit better than everybody. I'll give him that.
Also, Tarantino,
a little bit better.
Tarantino does this great job with like kind of like he sort of creates his own world. Like 100%. He creates that
100%.
world, and these people live in this world, and he does that super well. Yeah. And I guess another dig on this movie would be I didn't believe these characters. It didn't seem the turn of events didn't seem believable because they're just trying to base it in this town that I've been in, and it's like, well, this isn't the way
maybe not.
It is. And I know you hate on me when I say like it's not realistic, but this was me. This was not realistic at all. Like the turn of events, the sequences of events are all just so like ridiculous, and he just kept sucking this guy back in. And I guess that's
I don't think maybe say realistic, unrealistic. I agree with that. None of it's realistic, but like neither is any film noir movie. It's all just like this happens and then that's gonna happen because this and then it's all like the same formulaic shit. But I do think that he was making a cartoon. I do think he was making a cartoon version of a film noir movie purposely.
If this was real life, Sean Penn would have just stayed there until the motherfucker put a new hose in, and then he would have bounced
to a new hose in. Yeah, 100%.
Why would he leave? Why would he leave his gun? Why would he why would he? There's a lot of questions of why. Why didn't he put a fucking train ticket in his pocket? Like, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of simple things that could have been done that
100%.
obviously weren't to progress the story.
It was from around there.
Yeah. It's
also,
he just got
how come
swallowed up.
How come this man can never get a drink?
That's the best. I love that about it. And then when he's about to drink that Dr. Pepper, he's just pushed over by Joaquin. I was like, oh my God.
And then Joaquin eats his ticket right
Eats
there.
the ticket. TNT. Toby and
Joaquin.
Tucker.
Joaquin
was great.
Say what you will about the movie, like that was hilarious. Everything
was
about
awesome.
his acting was hilarious.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Another like one-dimensional dumb character, but like well done, well performed.
Exactly.
Joaquin, that
well
maybe my second favorite character. Just
every character was well performed.
I thought
John
Voight,
dude. John Voight did what he had to do.
He would be number 2 after Billy Bob.
John Voight probably had to be on set for like 2 days, and then he left.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
He just came in and
get my scenes over with.
I mean, do I think he gave an all-star performance? No, but he was great. He did perfect.
He was great for what he was supposed to do. He was awesome.
He was
yeah. I think he was just hanging.
Awesome.
I think. Well, maybe not a lot of preparation.
Well, you guys know who was supposed to play this role, right? Not John Voight's role, but Sean Penn's role was Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton was supposed to play the Sean Penn role.
Yeah,
and then
from what I read, it was Sean Penn.
Originally Sean Penn, then
he
Bill
dropped
Paxton.
out. Billy Pax was in. Then Bill Pax said, "Nah."
He was like, "I can't do this." Yeah, he's like, "I'm out." And
the
Sean
script
Penn
is fucking dumb. I'm out.
He didn't say dumb. He said he didn't want to be involved with like the incestual part of it. Shit, you know what I mean? And then Sean Penn was available.
It's like, this is yucky.
He came back and he did it.
Was yucky.
But Sean Penn also
Nick Nolte's
like,
I'm the one fucking my daughter.
Yeah, Nick Nolte was hilarious in this movie, and in a terrible way. In the same way that Hans Landa was hilarious, is that he just nailed the part of the terrible person. You know what I mean? In such a perfect way. Like, he was horrible person, terrible human being, scumbag, but he did it.
Should we get back into the story then?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
So now
you're telling it better than I am.
He's over at J-Lo's house, Grace's house. They're back and forth. They're like, she's like, "Huh, you want some tea, aka my fucking pussy?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Well, I just want to hang drapes." And he's like, "I don't know what the fuck you want, lady." And then she's like, "Well, would you help me hang drapes?" She's wearing, I mean, she's at peak hotness at, in 97. And just she's a highest paid Latina actress of her time. Short skirt on. And then whatever. One thing leads to another. They start making out. Nick Nolte busts in. I'm her husband, and he's just describe Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte's
what's his name?
Nick Nolte's like
Jake. His name's Jake.
Nick Nolte's like if Ricky Bobby lived in a small town and kind of wasn't like a race car driver. You know what I mean? Dresses like a cowboy, thinks he's the shit. Fucking acts like his shit don't stink. Like first or last kind of guy, and he's also banging this real young chick who you come to find out pretty quickly is his stepdaughter.
Yeah,
J-Lo.
so we've already kind of
he's like Yosemite Sam.
We've already given away the fact that
he's like Yosemite Sam, dude.
There's incest in the movie.
Yeah.
Very quickly, yeah, because he's explaining it to Sean Penn, he says, "Oh, that's my little girl," blah blah blah. Yeah. Right.
Also
then,
his wife.
Yeah. Right then.
There's some suggestive like
immediately. I'm like, he's fucking his daughter, like immediately, and then it's not until later that she says.
He's very literal with calling him
stepdaughter. Here's the thing. I don't know what I was doing. I looked away for that moment. So from that point on, I knew it was, or I was under the impression it was his real daughter. It
was his stepdaughter, yeah.
But it wasn't. It was his real daughter.
I thought it was his stepdaughter.
No, it ends up being his real daughter.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
that's the incest thing.
You're right.
I definitely had that thought of like, wait, is that real
that could still
not?
equal incest in a way. Like you can still consider that incestual. Like, well, I guess not. Technically, it's not.
That's
you're
just
right.
rape.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
I mean,
that's his
it's
fucking
all
daughter.
Bad. It's all bad. If you want to call it incest, you can. But
so basically, I guess we don't have to tell this in order because there's really not that much to tell. So let's just talk about this. Basically, Nick Nolte killed his wife, J-Lo's mom, and married J-Lo, who's his daughter, and they fuck. And the town knows this. Everybody knows this, right? Well, I don't think they know he definitely killed her, but they know that that's his daughter and he fucks her. Like, they know that.
Yeah.
And that's insane.
Or at least his stepdaughter. Nick Nolte's laughing, joking, and this is kind of where I love him right here because
hold on. He punches him in the face when he's like, "Yo, you're fucking my wife." Punches Sean Penn in the face, and he's like, "All right, get the fuck out of my house." Sean Penn leaves, and then like Nick Nolte goes over to J-Lo, and you're like, "Oh god, she was was loving the fact that he punched him. She was loving the fact that he saved the day. Like it's the whole thing of the incestual craziness.
This is real toxic. Just saying.
Oh yeah,
toxic.
terrible, horrible, terrible.
He's gets off on dudes fighting over it.
He's the worst character in this movie.
Yes, yeah, he's a terrible person. So Sean Penn is walking down the road, and Nick Nolte pulls up in his car.
He's like, yo, get in, man.
So yeah, is that still hurt? Your nose still hurt? He's like, you're fine.
Like, since we're Eskimo brothers now, I figure we can be friends.
He goes, you're not mad at that little love tap, are you?
Yeah.
Gives him a ride, jumps in the car with him, and that's why I love his character, how terrible he is how he flip-flops so much, as does J-Lo, but I just think she acted it terribly.
Are you talking about Sean Penn?
No, I'm talking about Nolte.
Okay.
Because he's like,
three of them are kind of doing that the whole time.
They're all doing it, but I think Nick Nolte,
the way that Nolte does it, you like it.
Pulls it off better than anybody.
I got you.
Well, Sean Penn does it because he has to out of desperation. Nolte does it because he wants to.
I think Sean Penn pulls it off too. I think I'm more just dogging on J-Lo.
Yeah.
But because I enjoy how much of a temper he has, but how big of a bitch he is, especially when he's like running up to Billy Bob Thornton, to Daryl's character. And he's like running up with the thing, and Daryl's like, "Let's go! You want to dance? I'll dance, boy!" And he scratches his car.
Yeah. In the commentary, Howard.
Do I love this movie? Do I hate this movie? I don't know. It sounds like I love this movie.
Oliver Stone even says in the commentary at that moment, he says he acts tough, but then he goes up to him and he's a coward. He said Sean Penn's character is just a coward. You know what I mean? He's not going to do anything.
He does, and he proves it at the end too. When he's like, "It wasn't me, it was her."
Yeah, he's a little crybaby bitch, dude.
He's a crybaby money bitch. And shit. He also hits women.
Yeah. So anyway, he basically right here, Nick Nolte flip flops a little bit, and he's like, "Yo, would you kill my wife? I'll give you like $15,000 cash."
But just that's the way he does it though. He's like, she's hot, she's a great piece of ass. I'm sure that's, I don't blame you for looking at her. I'm sure she was rubbing her ass up in your face. I mean, I'm sure you just wanted to strangle her, right? You just wanted to kill her. And he goes, Would you kill her? I was like, what? Whoa.
Yeah.
It took a weird turn.
Yeah. Took a little U-turn.
I took a little U-turn. Yes. Whoa. So he offers him some money. He said, what does he say? There's a life insurance policy?
Yeah, he's like, I got a life insurance policy, $50,000. He's like, I want he goes, actually, he just mentions it. He goes,
I've never heard that as a plot device before.
It's a fucking noir movie. It's every noir device plot, dude. I mean, Pulp Fiction, the fucking life $50,000 was the goddamn briefcase. Get out of here.
Double indemnity. Was that noir?
It's just it is what it is. So he goes, and then dude, in 1997 in this small town, $50,000, what does that equal to today, you think? In 97 in this small town. Maybe not a billion, but probably like a couple $100,000.
I did find it amusing that the whole movie, like Sean Penn's stressing over like $150.
Bro, he's got nothing.
That's the funniest thing.
But also in the 90s, you could survive in the 90s with no money.
It was just funny that I'm like, 150, that's it. Like,
well, also like one of the
even for like a car mechanic to be like scam you for 150, that doesn't seem like a lot.
One of the funny points,
it's hilarious.
One of the funny points in this is that throughout the movie he keeps giving his fucking money away.
He does.
I'm sure in his mind, knowing that he's got 30,000+ in his backpack, but like he gives a little money to the guy. He gives he has to give he has to give $100. We didn't even talk about that. We have we gotten there yet?
No, yeah, that's next.
Oh, that's right here. Yeah.
So hold on.
Dropped off by Nick Nolte.
So hold on. So, but at this point, he goes, "Yeah, I got some insurance money." Doesn't talk about specifics yet, but would you do it? And Sean Penn's like, "Nah, dude, I don't think I can do that." He's like, "I'm not about that." So he gets out of the car. He goes into a convenience store / grocery store, like a bodega type of place,
to get a soda,
and it gets robbed. It gets robbed by two fucking hillbilly, fucking inbred white fucking assholes who are just looking for. The one guy says, "Lady, this is all you got? I'm trying to put my kids through school." I thought that was such a great line. He's trying to put his kids through school by robbing grocery stores in this fucking place. I was just like, anyway, yeah, just shows how smart these fucking people are. So anyway, they're basically like, "Yo, give me your wallet."
Funny thing to say. If I was robbing a bank and I had the wherewithal to say that after getting not a lot of money, I think it would make people laugh.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that is pretty funny.
Trying to put my kids through college.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. But he didn't say it to be funny. He said it because that's exactly what he was thinking of doing. You know what I mean? That's good. I guess that's the funny part.
Trying to get his kids out of the fucking
fucking
sticks.
Yeah. So anyway, the lady. So they
are probably the best characters in the movie, like morally.
So they ask this lady, they're like, yo, what else you got? And they're like, she's like, I got nothing. Blah, blah, blah. And then they look at Sean Penn. They give me your shit. Gives him his fucking
wallet.
Gives him his fucking
There
wallet.
goes
He's
all
like,
his
nice.
money.
Goes all his money. And then he goes, give me your gym bag. And he's like, no, I'm not giving you my gym bag. He's like, well, there's just books in there. And he goes, I love books. I'm a reader. He goes, I'm a reader. Let me get those books. And he's like,
that was a good line too.
It was. And he goes, nah, they're sentimental to me. And he goes, man, give me your fucking shit. And he tells him no. And then she tells him no. And then basically, what does he do? He fucking hits him with the fucking butt of the gun. Fucking, and then he takes his bag. And then he takes the lady's wedding ring, and that sets her over the top. So she fucking pulls out a fucking shotgun from behind her little counter and shoots the guy. But in shooting the guy, she shoots the duffel bag full of money all over, and it's all splattered everywhere.
This is when we see that it's money. We didn't know it was money until this.
Well, yeah. I think you see it in the car at first. You see a little bit,
but you guys
see a little bit of
movie.
money. But you see a little bit of money in the car in the beginning.
Okay,
I think in the trunk. I think before we close it, you see like you don't see that it's 30 grand, but you see that there's at least a couple $1,000 sitting in there.
For me, he pulled out a wad.
Yeah, he pulled out a wad of money.
First time I saw it, I was like, oh shit. I mean, I guess I assumed
that's a lot of money though.
I guess I assumed, especially when he was like, it's just books.
Yeah.
What else is in a duffel bag?
I guess I'd have to be
exactly.
dumb. I guess
What do you use your duffel bags for other than
I was
money?
dumb. I was dumb on that one. It's a simple script, you know. I have a simple mind watching it.
But you do see the money blow
simple.
up, and you're like, oh fuck. So boom, the money blows
up.
up.
Yeah, it's gone. Like it blows to shreds. Like
to shreds. It's a double barrel shotgun with a fucking buckshot. It looked like. So it fucking. So it's everywhere, and the money he does get to scrounge up, she comes up, she's like, "Oh, senor, you have to call the police," and he's like, "No cops," and he hands her $100 bill. She's like, $100, no cops, and he hands her like the rest of the money.
She's
probably
a scumbag.
Probably like $1,000 he gave her to not call the cops, and then he leaves, tries to go get a drink at a fucking water fountain and take a fucking pill, and then there's a little scorpion on there, tries to kill him, and he can't drink his water.
Doesn't even
Which
get
makes
that.
a weird snake rattle sound that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but it's cool, bro, and it reminds you as a kid.
Don't make sense.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't have to make sense. No, they got Ennio Morricone fucking making cartoon sounds going. It's fucking awesome, bro.
Begrudgingly
get over it.
making cartoon
Get over
sounds.
it. You know why it wasn't begrudgingly? Because he probably got paid like $3 million to make that movie, and he was like, "All right, I'll do it." You know what I mean? Like it was a $20 million budget.
It barely made $3 million.
Yeah, it made like $6 million of like a $20 million budget
So,
because they didn't release it, dude.
Show 'em.
They didn't release it anywhere, bro. They didn't. They pulled it out of theaters because they didn't fucking release it anywhere because they didn't want it. They didn't want.
They
didn't want people to see it. Yes, but Jake, they were upset about how dark it was. Like just like you are.
I wouldn't
just
recommend
like
your
delicate little flower self is so upset that you hate this movie and all the characters are dimensional because they're all shitty and you hate that there's no fucking happy tale ending and you hate it.
I
Jake.
like the ending kind
You're
of. I
such a
kind of like the
softie,
ending.
Jake.
I never said anything about the ending.
Fuck out of here.
So don't put words in my mouth. Don't assume what I like when I don't like.
Because
I actually,
other
other than the fact that it was
weekend,
way long and drawn out,
1,230 theaters.
very
That's
ending was
not
cool.
a small amount of theaters.
I did not think it was long and drawn out. Yeah, but Anthony, they didn't have a second weekend. That's what I'm saying. Like after that, they pulled it. It was gone. They didn't show it anywhere. The only reason why this movie even lived on and made any money is because of DVD sales.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's 100% the only reason. Everybody lost on this movie. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody lost on this movie. Everybody. Even no matter what. I can't deny that. Like this movie was a shot in the like they went for broke and they went broke. That's what happened. I'm not gonna deny that.
Oh man, I wish that fit in the haiku.
But honestly though, I guarantee you ask like besides J-Lo, if you ask Nick Nolte, you ask Billy Bob Thornton, you asked fucking Joaquin Phoenix, you're probably like, yeah, that movie was fucking awesome to make. Like I loved making that movie. It was fun as fuck. You know what I mean? And they got to do something weird.
I made a short
as an
film.
actor.
I made a short film in that
fun.
town, and it wasn't cool.
Yeah, you made sure. Yo, this movie was actually remade in India, by the way.
I know.
And
I saw that.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Was
man.
that the same movie? Because I kept seeing that it was like a movie called U-Turn. Is that actually the same movie?
No, so it has a different title,
Yeah,
but it's
like
based off of this movie. They changed it a little bit. I read the synopsis. They changed that they changed why he's there.
It's
and
called
the fact
Musafir.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
he's like
They
in Bali
changed
or
just a little
something?
bit of why he's there. That's it. But otherwise, they stuck to it. It still had the
Some
incest.
shitty
all
Indian
that.
town.
A lot of people say it's better than U-Turn.
Because there was an
I kinda
Indian
wanna see
movie
it.
when I I was looking for like clips or fucking reviews or whatever about this movie,
Yeah.
I kept coming across an Indian movie called U-Turn that was
really?
came out like a couple years ago.
I didn't never heard
so
of that.
it's like every other video I watched on this movie, it was like an Indian dude popped up or starts giving commentary. I'm like, oh fuck, it's the wrong movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that I kept running
2019 Sinhala film U-Turn was in theaters. It's a
There it is.
2016, a remake of 2016.
Wait, so they
with the
remade
same
it?
name. There's
And
like
then they
three
remade it again?
versions. There's 3 Indian versions.
I don't know if that was the same as this story or not. I don't know if there was I didn't think there was a connection, but I don't know. I didn't stay to find out what the Indian U-turns were about. I just assumed not because U-turn is sort of a common thing phrase.
Yeah. All right. So
he lost all his money.
He lost all his money.
Now he goes back to Daryl.
Goes to Daryl and says, "Yo, I don't have any money, but as soon as I get to the next town, I'll wire you the $150." He's like, "Well, it's 200." And he's like, "What do you mean it's 200?" He's like, "Oh, I got to doing some shit," and all the while, like he's telling him
his
this
whole
in
car
like
is
the worst
completely
way.
taken apart.
Yeah, the engine of his car, the hood is off of his car,
completely taken apart.
Yeah.
It's now he has a 200, which he doesn't have. So he's got so he just starts calling people, and this is where we really find out how big of a scumbag he is.
He's like, "Mom, I need $150." She's like, "You're dead." He's like, "I'm not dead." He's like, "You're out of me." And then he's like,
"Christy, I need..." from Goonies.
And he's like, "Christy, I need money." And she's like, "Who is this?" He's like, "It's Danny." He's like, "You stole my CDs, Danny." He's like, "You stole your fucking CDs." And boop, so he's up the phone. Yeah, everybody hates him. No one likes him. He's
then
a
he
scumbag.
calls homeboy that cut his fingers off.
Oh yeah, so this is the
guy he owes the money to. Yeah,
this
idiot.
dude. That is to me. You may call him an idiot, but like think about it. Like he was so desperate that like he called the guy that he shouldn't call. That's amazing. And the way that they shot that, I love the way they shot that with like showing that like he was this crazy Russian gangster who had like someone was delivering him a steak and he had like a crazy
feeding him
woman.
Food? No,
they were cutting his steak.
Like, putting his food.
He had like a henchman, like number 2, like handing him things and like answering his phones. Like I love that. That was so like that would have been like in a Looney Tunes cartoon of like the bad guy was in that situation.
So
which is
we're watching
amazing.
Maniacs right now.
Yeah, I guess in that sense, sure. Yeah, I thought it was
awesome.
Like,
and then it does
this is okay.
And then it does the split screen, and it goes to show that the reason why this guy's got no fingers is because he owes this gangster $30,000 and he hasn't been able to pay him. And you find out that he was on his way to pay him when he stopped in this small town and his car broke down. So that's why he's here. And then this guy tells him like, "Yo, basically, I'm going to take all your other fingers and I want my money by tomorrow." And he sends one of his henchmen and he hangs up the phone. And it's when you're like, "Oh, fuck." The flashbacks to that scene were pretty fucking cool, too. Like when he showed his fingers. I thought
those were the most unnecessary scenes ever. When he's
in
the shower.
this movie's unnecessary, Anthony.
That's
like,
true.
100%, dude. Definitely shouldn't even exist. I agree.
No, I love that it exists. I love that it exists. I love that and I love that you hate that it exists. This movie exists because you hate it exists. You know what I mean? That's why it's so great. Anyway, so what did we just talk about?
So he can't get.
We're still in like the third scene of the movie.
We're going.
So now he goes to Jake and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna take Jake up on the offer."
Yes. He tells him, "I want 20 grand." He's like, "You only got 20 grand. I got 10." And because this guy's such a scumbag, he's about to kill his chick for 10 grand. So he says,
"No." He goes, "I want 13, or I'm not gonna kill your wife."
Yeah.
So he asks for 13.
And he gives him 13.
And then he says, "Well, how am I gonna do it?" This is the kind of a flash forward / like memory / like actually happening. He's like, "Well, you could just take her out on a Jeep ride into the hills and you could push her off the fucking mountain." I think we come to learn that's kind of what he did to the mom.
Yeah.
So we see them, and this is where we get the iconic sign. I don't know where she slips, and he could have just let it go and gotten the money. But instead they fuck, and then he jerks off.
This movie would have been over, and it would have been great.
Yeah, and then he just gets his money and he leaves, but he still doesn't have the 30,000. Was it 30 or 13? Because he asked for 13. So I know, but
that was the confusing part for me. I was gonna say that like
he needed 30, but he thought it was getting 13.
And then he said 13, and I was questioning myself of like, did I mishear earlier? Did he say 30 or did he say 13? Is this one of those?
He owes the guy 30, but he's only paying him 13.
I guess
he could give him 13 and hope that he doesn't kill him.
Well, he said he could sell his car, and then the next scene when we see Daryl, we see that the 64.5 Mustang is worth about 16.
Yeah,
because he has that.
So then there
which I thought was hilarious. So 16 plus 13.
Shit.
That's 29.
That's
so he'd be all right.
29, yeah.
Yeah. So he'd be close.
All right.
So yeah. So he's good.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Math checks out.
Yeah.
Fuck, this script is great.
Jake, this is the thing. I get why you don't like this, but the script isn't that bad. Like, it's for what it is, the way it's just not deep. It's just you hate it because there's no point. You hate it because there's no point.
Absolutely.
You hate it because there's no point.
Well, the point at the very end, the last line of the movie, which we'll get there, I think that's at the point, and I agree.
Which is what? Later
Fuck Arizona.
Fuck Arizona. No,
I agree with all, because I hate the fucking desert, and I've been to that fucking shithole, and I
Shout
guess
out to our
that
fans
was
in Arizona.
That's the only way I guess I could sympathize with this character, because
it's hot. It's
fuck
fucking
that.
hot.
And she's right. If that car broke down just outside of town, he would have fucking died. And fuck that place for that. Because like just having to walk a few miles in Arizona, you could die, and that's fucking wild. Go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna.
He
look
walks
up,
everywhere.
Our
he
listeners
walks everywhere
by
in this
states
movie.
here.
Okay, so right here, he ends up fucking J-Lo, and then he tells her like, "Yo, he was gonna kill you. He paid me to kill you." And she's like, "Well, he's got like 200."
He does not. He does not tell her that. She
doesn't.
Nope.
She guesses it.
Nobody. She never knows. She's never told.
She just says something to him.
She says, "Listen, I've been being raped by this guy my whole life. We need to get the fuck out of here." And
Take
he's
his
like,
money.
"Well, I ain't got no money. You got money?" And she's like, "No, but I know where we can get it. You just got to kill Jake." And at this point, he's just like, "You want me to kill her? He wants me to kill you? Is fucking insane." He's like, "Obviously, I can't kill anybody because he almost did to her just now."
Let me ask you guys this: if you were in this exact situation, just know what's the ands or buts. The exact situation. Who you doing? You killing her or killing him?
Well, now, do I know the amounts of money yet on both sides?
Well, you think? Oh, I guess you're right. You're getting 13 from him, but she's saying more. She's saying like 100. So I guess you go with the money. You're right. Dumb question.
I would have already
let
that bitch go in the scene before.
Yeah,
so
probably.
If I didn't know,
that situation wouldn't have been real.
If I didn't know that there was the other option,
then you would have taken a 13,
which he didn't. Which he should have just dropped her ass off, gotten enough money to get the fuck out of there and bounced, and none of this would have happened. He would have fucking, everything would have been cool.
If I was him in that situation, that's would
have
been.
Not everything's cool by the end of this movie.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So basically, he says okay because the money's higher. He's like 100 grand, and because I think like the reason why he didn't drop her off is because he's like a little infatuated by her. She's this young hot piece of ass who's interesting at this point.
Sucking him in.
She's super interesting, and it's before he told her dad fucked her. That's his dad, so that's a little more information that he has now. But anyway, and then what happens? So he agrees to do it, and then she says, "No, something else happens here." He goes to the restaurant, right, the diner, to meet Toby and Tucker, right? So then he goes to a restaurant. This is basically just a scene to show more of the town, show that Powers Boothe is still kind of after him. And then it shows Claire Danes and Joaquin Phoenix as Toby and Tucker, and the other I can't forget her. I don't remember her name. But he's like a cool kid in town who's like just like not a cool kid, but is the coolest kid in town, and he's like got the hottest girl.
I don't know if you know who I am. I'm Toby and Tucker. People call me TNT. You know why? He goes, because they're not very creative.
Yeah. And then he goes, funny. No, because when I snap, it's like dynamite.
And somebody gets hurt. I mean, this guy was hilarious.
Oh, he was amazing.
Toby and Tuck. The way he says, dude, give Joaquin Phoenix a pile of shit, and he's gonna act the shit out of it, dude. Toby and Tucker.
I also did read or hear Oliver Stone say that the TNT in the back of his head was Joaquin Phoenix's doing,
which I didn't notice until they fought at the end. I didn't see it in. Do you see it
when he pointed it in the restaurant? He points out to it. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's Toby. He goes Toby and Tucker. I point to it. They call me
straight out of Hocus Pocus, dude.
They say that Hocus Pocus?
Yeah. He goes, my name's. He goes. This is Ernie, and then he goes. Yo, they don't call me Ernie anymore. They call me Ice. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, this is Ice. Ice turns around. He's got ice in the back of his head.
Oh shit. Okay.
Shout out to Ice.
What year was that?
1997, I believe.
Damn. So I wonder if Joaquin Phoenix saw Hocus Pocus and was like, oh, I got to do that.
I believe it is 1997. Hold on.
Or was this made? Which one was released first? See which one was released first.
They both came out in October.
No, Hocus Pocus
No.
1993.
Okay, so Joaquin Phoenix probably watched Hocus Pocus and was like, I'm doing that for ice.
This whole movie's a fucking
Shout out
Hocus
to
Pocus
Joaquin
ripoff.
Phoenix for shouting out Hocus Pocus.
Because just think, Joaquin Phoenix would have been the age to watch Hocus Pocus when
You're
it
right.
came out.
I'll take it as
He was
more
pretty
of
goddamn
an
young.
homage.
He probably
more of an
thought
homage.
that's what a cool guy does in a town.
Yeah.
Because that's what Ice was. Ice was
Yeah, he
Ice
was
was
the cool
that
guy.
guy. Dude, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
For the guys that
makes
think
me
they're
like
the
it
cool
even
guy.
more.
Yeah. All right, so he meets Toby and Tucker and his girl. Basically, she's just this like little hottie who's trying to make her boyfriend jealous, and her boyfriend is just this machismo asshole who gets jealous. Fucks with Sean Penn. Paris Boothe walks in and is like,
Takes
"Yo,
another
fucking-"
quarter from him.
Takes another quarter from him. Yeah. He basically Paris Boothe's like, "Yo, Toby and Tucker, calm the fuck down, dude." And and then
They just start arguing. He's like, I'm not hitting on your girl. And he's like, he's just being machismo. And he was like, I need to take you out to fight. Me and Toby need to fight.
Yeah.
And then that's when you saying like, you guys are gonna fight over me or whatever. And it just cuts to Jenny
smiling,
just infatuated with the fact that two dudes are about to fight over her.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like she wants to get the fuck out of here too. I feel like she's in J-Lo's character or in J-Lo.
Oh, they're the same character. That's what I'm saying.
Psychos.
They're all the same thing.
Yes, but Jake, they're the same character because of the town. The town is what
I
creates
get that.
these characters.
I get that.
Yeah, and I think Claire Danes is just a side character of Toby Tucker.
Yeah, these are all side characters.
She's
Because they're all like most side characters.
I think she
all
acts it better than J-Lo, but whatever.
Yeah, I think she was great at it. I thought she was
like
awesome.
the way she like skips up, like
Yes, that was amazing.
Come on,
that was amazing.
It was just so over the top.
Yes, but that's the point, Jake. That's the point. It's the fucking point.
Give me Zombievers, dude. Fuck this movie.
So basically, right here, he leaves, tries to steal money out of the register. The cat that he kicks earlier in the scene prevents him from doing it, which is hilarious.
Rude.
The cat fucking is like, "Fuck you," which I love. That's just funny. Just so unnecessary, but funny.
Everything's thwarted for this guy.
Yeah, everything is thwarted. Fucking
this
cat
movie is a nightmare. I swear to God, I've had nightmares like this where I'm literally trying to get the fuck out of somewhere and I can't either find my car or I can't get to my car. I've literally had these nightmares, and I think it plays out like a nightmare, and I think it kind of on purpose plays out like a nightmare, like a hallucinogenic nightmare.
Yeah, definitely. So, what happens next? We're getting close to the end. Just get there.
She
hires him.
So yeah, I think I don't think there's he
tries. He buys a train ticket. He gets beat up by Toby and Tucker.
Yep.
Then they're fucking later, and then they set up the situation where he can kill Jake by them fucking, and then he sneaks into the house, and they hear him, and they fight.
Which, by the way, there's some good
Daryl at some point. But
there's some good use of
there's
some good use of music in this movie that isn't Ennio Morricone. Like some really good music. Like
true.
They had Ween in the very beginning. That kind of made me that made me excited. Ween, you guys like Ween?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
I don't know.
But some classic shit that they used in really great situations, like this scene when he's walking to kill homeboy. Well, she's fucking great when he's fucking Grace. Like it's some really good. I think it's like some jazz music, and it was just like, damn, like it's a really well known song. It was really fucking well done. Like moonlight with like the shadows of the fucking palm trees is all look all sharp and shit. It was cool as fuck.
It was Piss Up a Row by Ween. I think Daryl was listening to Ween. I think that's what it was.
Nice.
Anyway,
yeah. So he gets there. Basically, this is where you see like Nick Nolte's character go crazy. He tries to kill him, and Nick Nolte overpowers him. And he's in the middle of fucking her.
Nick Nolte pulls his gun out. Yeah.
Well, also, like, this is the scene where you see the incest happening. Because, like, I don't know why I laughed at that, but it's gross. But, like, you see him banging J-Lo. That's what he's doing when fucking what's his name comes
unnecessary.
in.
I think the only...
Definitely unnecessary.
Maybe the only reason is because she mentions the whole, like, his keys hits me while he's banging me.
Yeah.
And then, we see that, and we see the key. They keep going back to the key. We see the key a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
We even see it before we know what it is when he's talking to him in the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is, like, also there was that upon a second watch, there were more shots that I thought had a little more purpose than I thought they did. I was like, well, that was kind of I still think there was a lot of unnecessary shit, but there was some shots where I was like, all right, I see why that shot was there. That makes a little more sense than what I originally was assuming. But yeah, he goes in, he busts in, she leaves the door open, he comes in, they're fucking, they hear, what's his name breaks down right here. Nick Nolte breaks down because as he's coming, as you do. And
because he sees his dead wife.
Yeah, he like he sees like a flash of his wife as her, because obviously this haunts him, everybody has demons. And then he starts going down on her, and then he hears a noise, which because of course, what's his name's just a clumsy asshole and makes a noise. He pulls a gun out, goes and gets him, pulls him at gunpoint. He crumbles under the pressure, which we've seen him happen a couple times. I think that was the last. That was one of the last time we see him. Right before this, he goes to Daryl, and Daryl's like, "Well, it's gonna be more money now," and he like swings a wrench at him, and Daryl turns around and he's like, "You want to fucking go?" And he goes, "No, I'm sorry, and then so we've seen this guy just crumble under pressure immediately.
Yeah.
He's like,
Sean Penn has to get his crying scenes, man. He's got to get the crying Sean Penn. He's good at it.
He's like, "You don't want to worry about me. You want to worry about her. She's trying to kill you. She's trying to steal your money. She knows your money." And then they hatch a new plan where they're like, "Well, just go in and kill her then." And so now he's back. So he's going to kill her. Now he's going to kill him. Now he's going back to kill her. But in some kind of weird, quick planning, they make a plan inside where she acts like she kills him so that when when Nick Nolte comes in, he gets up and fucking kills Nick Nolte with her fucking tomahawk, because we really got to push the fact that she's a goddamn native. And then she doesn't kill him, and
that's
then
Oliver Stone, dude.
He fucking pulls the tomahawk. He ends up killing him like with the tomahawk, like pretty brutal killing, if you ask me.
And then they bang, so
and then they
watch.
fuck right next to him. She goes, and I knew exactly what she was gonna say. Like, should we do this? I knew she was gonna be like, "Let him watch." Stupid. Then we see him like they obviously they find the money. They're banging in the money.
It's like 200 grand.
It's like $200,000. They pack it. She packs it up. He goes somewhere, steals the key. Like that whole thing.
He goes to get his car back using the money some of the money that's got.
Right.
He pulls off
this is one of the best.
He pulls off the starter from her Jeep or the battery from her Jeep so that she can't leave. And then he goes back to Billy Bob and he sees that he's playing Twister in his tighty whities and a parka.
Oh my god! Is he watching porn?
I think he's listening to porn.
Yeah,
there's nothing on his TV. He was listening to porn.
Just spinning the Twister thing. Standing, he walks in. And he gives him the money, and it's funny. He's like, I don't want your dirty money. It's like, do you care? Like, who's out here to call it dirty money? Like, we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. I just thought that was funny that he was like, I don't want that dirty money. That's fucking blood money. But eventually he takes it, gets his keys back, and goes back. They load the car up. They bounce. They're home free. And this is like toward the end of the movie. They got all the money. They're going to split it 50-50.
But what we didn't talk about right here is, so we did a little bit, but we got to reiterate the fact that during this time, this last 20 minutes back and forth, J-Lo has heard the fact that Sean Penn is going to kill her for some reasons, and then backtrack on that and do shit with her. And he knows that she would kill him, but then backtrack on not killing him just to be with him. So none of this is like
nobody trusts
no one can trust each other. These people don't know each other. Everybody just wants his 200 grand. Then that's the crazy part about this movie is this whole like last 20 minutes is like you don't know what's going to happen because at any time they're just turning on each other.
I think at this point Sean Penn means what he says. I think at this point Sean Penn means what he says. So at like this point, it's just they're together. They're driving away. She knows a back way, which I didn't know if that meant
a back road.
But so does that mean that she was? I think at this point she was with Sean Penn because I think she had a different plan with the sheriff
with Powers Boothe. But this is the road they were going to use, though. I think
this is the road they were going to use because he said this isn't the road we're going to use.
Yeah.
And
but
so
I knew that's where she'd be.
I think both of them at that point were in on with each other. Though still there's zero trust. Really, there's zero trust no matter what. But at this point,
she immediately folded when he approached the car. Like
yes. Well, she told his ass not to stop. She said, "Don't stop." He's gonna look in the trunk, and he's like, "Nah, what the fuck does he care?" Because he didn't know she was banging him too.
And then she goes, "He never made me come, though."
Yeah, he's like, "I knew you were fucking." So she gets out, but then
she
rude
gets out. Say. Like,
she gets out with the money. She pulls the gun on Powers Boothe. She then shoots Powers Boothe and kills him.
Well, she only kills him because but boy, he's not only about to kill Sean Penn, which she's kind of okay with, but he starts talking shit about her mom. And she's like, "This bitch is just like her mom, a cold-blooded slut bitch who deserves to die." And then she shoots him. That's what she says.
Are those your words?
No, that's what he says basically. Like that's the words that he uses. To which makes me think at the same time, like, what if Powers Boothe was also banging her mom on the side too? Like he was banging her on the side.
Probably.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you remember the scene when they're fucking sitting by the cliffside, there was a moment where he says something about Daryl, and she goes, well, you know Daryl and Jake, and then he cuts her off, and they never go back to that. Huh. You guys remember that at all?
No,
but I believe
really
it.
Noticed that.
He says something about Daryl, and then she goes, well, you know Daryl and Jake, and then he goes, we don't actually, and cuts her off, and we never. So
maybe Jake is like, yo, we got to keep this guy here to do the bidding, so fuck with his car.
Or maybe she was about to say Daryl and Jake like sold Daryl the gun. Maybe that was
too.
No, because she's like, where'd you get that at the end?
He could have been progressing it with the car situation.
None of it fucking matters in this movie.
Matter.
So they kill her. They kill they kill the sheriff.
Yeah,
she's like, quit being a bitch. Let's put him in the trunk. So now they got two bodies that they got to get rid of. Midday, they go to cliffside and they just start tossing bodies over the side.
As
he's like, they'll get eaten up. It's the desert. And then she has his gun. So he's like, she's like, are you scared that I'm gonna fucking kill you? And he's like, well, yeah, kinda. And then he ends up like just punching her and taking the gun. And then she ends up pushing him off the cliff, but he had the keys in his pocket. So now she's got to be like, I'm sorry.
Yo, by the way, he got it bad when he fell off that fucking cliff.
He looked like it, yeah.
He's fucked up. He's got
he's
no
hurt pretty
teeth.
bad.
Well, yeah.
His face is all busted open. And like,
but
when you realize that he's calling her down there, and they go to a really tight of his face and they show an evil and vindictive of the look he's giving. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this bitch.
100%. That what would you do at that point? You're like, if I could get her within arm's reach, she done. Well, the stupid thing is he looks at the gun and then leaves it. Or it seems like he looks at the gun and then that's
I think he doesn't even get there in time.
I guess, but and then she takes the gun, she shoots him, but he strangles her to death.
Well, he's strangling her and then she shoots him as he's strangling her, but she still gets killed.
Yeah, he finishes the job on her. She dies. There's 3 bodies down there.
Great shot too. It's a shot of the reflection in her eye of him like strangling her when she dies. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, classic. Tarantino did that. Later. I'm not saying this before. Relax, dude. I don't mean to trigger you. He crawls his ass back up to his car and gets in his car. He looks in the mirror and like you said, he's all no teeth, no fingers, all fucked up. He looked like he got a fight. He looked like he just got in a fight with Mike Tyson and got his ass kicked. Let's be honest. If he didn't get to a hospital within 10 minutes, he's dead no matter what.
He's done. Yeah, he's done.
He looks in the mirror, says, "You're still lucky." Starts his car, his fucking radiator pipe explodes because Daryl's just the best mechanic ever, and he dies in his car. Everybody dies.
He says fucking Arizona, right?
He yells fuck Arizona, and then they just kind of pan out and
it's a helicopter shot, pretty epic.
He's probably gonna die out here.
Him revealing over and then seeing all the bodies.
There's shots later, like 20 seconds later, of him like basically showing he's like dead in the car.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. They all die.
That's a cool ending, I guess.
You want to know what Leonard Maltin said?
Oh, yeah, I definitely do. I read what Siskel said, and it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, wait. Leonard Maltin says, you know what you're in for when an animal is killed during the opening credits, and it only gets worse. A sturdy cast does its best with this predictable, savagely unpleasant pulp nonsense.
Sure. I'm not saying it's not pulp nonsense, but I still don't think it's bad.
That's all true. Yeah, that's all. It's
savagely unpleasant, would you say?
Sure, definitely. Purposely unpleasant.
At times, yeah.
But he says that in a negative way.
Even Bill Paxton didn't want to make this movie.
Yeah. Well, we did it.
Paxton's like a stand-up guy, though.
Yeah.
Billy Pax.
Yeah, let's do the ratings.
Do the rating deal. Break it down. The ratings.
This is a long podcast.
I think I have my feelings.
Jake, let's do.
We started pretty late.
Let's do yours first. Acting.
Acting. This is probably the only one of the only strong categories of this movie, and I'll give it a 7.
Nice.
7 for acting.
Plot.
Oh wait, are we doing all at the same time?
I think we should.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, let's all do the one at a time.
All right, cool. I gave it a 9
okay.
for acting.
Schwartz?
For acting,
yeah,
I'm gonna give it a 9 for acting. The audacity of it is just what gives it a 9.
Right,
the audacity of these people to do this.
The audacity of you to pick this movie.
Jake, plot.
4.
God, that was a long time.
I think that's generous. I'm feeling like kind of generous with that one.
I gave it a 7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.
Cinematography.
Go ahead, Jake. Oh, sorry.
3. And it would be it would be a 2 if it wasn't Robert Richardson.
And that's what I think. I gave it a 6, and I'm giving it a 6 for old Robbie Richardson's efforts. I think he probably quit after this, but
I'll give it a 7.
Sound. This is sound, music, score, so Morricone and all of it.
This is tricky. Overall, I'll just give it a 5. Clean middle. I think Morricone was like kind of ridiculous. Like the sound design was fine, and they had a Ween song, so the Ween song gives it a point. So there we go.
I also gave it a 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 7.
I think it deserves a 5 because it had somebody doing again their best efforts.
Right.
A legend.
He's
doing
great.
His best
Yeah.
efforts.
Morricone's fucking
Directing. Wait, hold on. What'd you think about?
I was just saying it felt like a bad Morricone parody.
Yeah.
And then then I realized it was him. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like mind blowing. Sorry, directing. What's the other part of directing? Isn't there like more to it, or is it just directing?
I think it's directing / editing, which can go pretty well together here.
2.
Jake, I also gave it a 2.
That was bad. It's just.
I'm gonna go 8.
Yucky.
I also gave it a 2. I think that was the least.
Can I change my cinematography to 8 as well?
Sure.
Thank you.
Trying to fucking fluff the numbers.
No, I'm just thinking about it and how much I appreciate the audacity of what they did.
We should do average of all of our 3 things, but production design and or visual effects. There weren't many visual effects in this movie.
Out of 5, 4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
All right. I gave it a 6.
I'll give it a 7.
I don't think they had to do much. That town's already fucking a mess, so they didn't really have to do a whole lot.
Originality.
2.
Well, it's also creativity. You think that helps?
2.
I'll give it a 5.
I'm going to say this is a hard one because it's basically just remaking old noir, but it is doing it in a modern setting with the way the world is different, so it can get away with more and be a little bit more in your face. So it's like it's taking something and kind of making it a little bit of your own in a weird way. I'm going to go 7.
All right.
I'd like to change mine to a 1.5.
Copy.
Jake lacks originality and imagination. We all know this. I'd give Jake a 1.5 for that as well.
There's no scores for each other.
More
Let's not
appreciate
be
real.
rude.
But I'm
Pacing.
scoring him.
I'll give Schwartz a 4.
And again, that's why Jake
I'm
is a
giving
phony.
you both a 10. Pacing.
Thanks.
Pacing.
Pacing, is that the only?
That's what
part?
that's what I have written down
Alright.
here, Jake. You want to make up
I'm
your
just-
own? You make up your own.
No, it's fine. I'm just checking. Sometimes you say pacing.
I was trying to expedite this whole thing. I was trying to make it a little
Alright.
quicker, a little less boring.
Yeah.
But pacing, how did
You know how
how
we
did
could
you-
do that?
were you-
To be honest with you, we should all just have it before we do it. That's what we should do.
Which
Let's
is
just
what I did.
yeah, let's just do that
Okay.
from now on.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
4 for pacing.
And I could also cut this part out, and we can just go to the end.
Yeah, you would maybe do that then. Yeah.
I gave pacing a 6. Pacing, how overall flow, I think is what it said before.
4.
I gave it a 6.
I'll go 8.
I also was trying to think of questions instead of like straight up like, were you ever bored? The next one is also one I wanted to talk about. I think it should be, do you like it? And it's a yes or a no. It's a 1 or a 10.
Do you like it? What was it originally?
Let's see. Emotional impact and resonance. You know, I don't want to sound so.
I
gay.
think that's a better
I like
question.
that
Do you
more,
like it though?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it could just because you could have a movie that has emotional impact that doesn't have resonance or vice
Exactly.
versa. But
And
they're
that's
both
why
important.
I think if we say, do you like it? It should just be a yes or a no, which means a 1 or a 10, which affects the score quite a bit.
Is that also like the cultural
No, wait a
impact
second.
or
So
something,
wait,
or is
The
that a
next
different
one, the next
Okay,
one's
gotcha.
cultural.
Wait, time out though. So you're saying you want to get rid of that and just ask, do you like it? That's what you're saying?
Oh,
I
you're
like
saying
what
I was
you
saying the
got.
opposite.
I like what you got.
Wait, what?
is
I'm confused.
Emotions. Let's talk about our emotions.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
no, I
all
like
right.
the original one
You
better
like the
too.
emotional impact.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
like
like that
emotional
way
impact.
better. I like that way better.
I think it's an important part of a movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think this one had 1.5.
I think for me, it's whether that means did I like the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. But also like
I could see
no,
why you
because
think that.
think about this. Like you could hate this movie like Jake did, but you could also be like, damn.
Yeah,
they
but Jake
talked
had
about
Jake had a heavy emotional impact on this movie, and he's
At a-
giving it a
with a
1.5.
1.5.
So that's why
Yeah.
I'm saying that it should just be do you like it? Because even though he had a drastic emotional impact, obviously he's not giving the points for it. He's saying he didn't like it.
yeah, because it could be bad or good. I get what you're saying. Sure.
But those could also be 2 different questions, I guess.
Yeah, and I could have mixed opinions in that.
Yeah,
realm
that could.
either way.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot. There's a lot to that for sure.
Keep it.
Yeah. So emotional impact and whatever. I'm gonna go 7. I think it
Alright.
touched on some pretty
Jake,
dark
would
and
you
weird
give it
shit.
a 1.5?
I got 1 point. I'll give it a 2. I'll give it a 2. What'd you give it?
I'm going with what I'm saying, with is whether what that question is
Yes
to
or
me
no?
is do I like it? And I'm
Okay.
giving it a 10. I fucking like this movie.
Okay. Whoa.
Okay.
Cultural or societal relevance?
We'll see. Sorry, Jake goes first. Go ahead.
Is it 4. He tried to say something, but I don't think he really said anything.
Oh yeah, I'm going 1.5 on that one.
I think. Wait, what was the word you used again?
Cultural or societal relevance? How did this
I think
affect the
because-
cultural or
I
society?
think because
at all?
it's so shunned that it's gonna. Like, I think it's already gaining cult status, and it will even more now. Honestly, I think you're releasing on Prime is huge because there's gonna be a lot of people are gonna see it now because people surf to look for movies and they're gonna be like, oh, look at this this cast. Look at Oliver Stone. And like, so a lot of people are going to watch this, and I think it's going to gain a lot of things. So I do think that when it came out, did it make an impact culturally? Not in any way. But I think I keep saying the sheer audacity, but like people like films that are like made to shock and awe and be not normal. And not everyone does, but certain people do. So I do think that this does have a little bit of that relevance to it. So I'll give it a 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
That brings our total scores for Jake, a 3.7 on the low end. We have Schwartz, 7.3 on the high end. And I gave it a 5.8.
Opposite scores. It's kind of funny. 5.8.
Yeah.
That's probably right in the middle.
What is it on IMDb?
Honestly, we often are pretty close. If we average our scores, we're often pretty close to the IMDb.
IMDb is 6.7.
Okay, so we're not close probably on that one. I bet we're like around the probably like 5 or 6. I don't know, how do you average that?
You add them up, divide by 3.
Yeah. I mean, I know how you literally get the average, but what are they again?
What are the numbers?
7.6, 3 points. I'm sorry, 7.65, 3.6, and 5.8 has a 59% on tomatometer.
5.7.
5.7. That sounds.
That's our rank.
I'll say it. 5.
I feel like that's more
reflective. Not talking into a microphone.
My bad.
More reflective of the Rotten Tomatoes. I believe is like 57, right?
5.7. So you average it out, you get my score.
There we go. The heartbeat of America, Aslami.
Oh wait, hold on. Those weren't the right scores. I changed it for my thing. I mean, that's about right though.
The new score brings it to a 10, overall 10.
No, because I did what I wanted you to do, and I gave Schwartz a 10, and me and Jake a 1, and me a 10 and I wanted to see what that averaged out to, which is.
So the fact that Anthony loved this movie and gave it a 10 is great.
I didn't love this movie, but
you just about 30 seconds ago said I fucking love this movie. You said that.
I did not say I fucking love
I
this
think
movie.
you did.
I said I liked it.
I think you might have.
I said, did I like it or did I not like it? I definitely liked it.
We'll hear it on the podcast. He cuts it out. He's like, I said I can't cut it out.
So what's your point?
I don't know. Point is you like this movie.
Nobody said I
talked a lot of shit, but you like it. Talked a lot of shit, but you liked it.
Yeah, I think this movie would have been a 10 out of 10 if it had a different director.
Interesting.
You ruined it. I ruined it.
I think
Probably
Oliver
fair.
Stone was the weakest part of this whole thing.
Damn.
Like
So
I bet the script was.
directing
I bet the script
too.
was actually good. I bet it started good and he just fucking tore it apart.
Okay.
And the cast probably saw
read the book then.
saw the actual script
Is the book any different?
and they're like, "This is good." And
Well, yeah, he said he
they
drastically changed the script.
thought Oliver Stone was good and
oh, that makes sense.
huge mistakes all
Because,
around.
like I said, I think the script was great. I don't know about the script, but I think the story's it's fun. It's a very fun thing to follow.
You just hated the fact that he had weird music and weird camera angles and used all the weirdness. You hated that. That's what you hated.
I thought the story was dumb too.
I think that was just there was a lot of weird, unnecessary shit, which is maybe why it's great. But I don't know. Not for me. Not that part. Everything else is great.
Bad.
So you hated the aesthetic, but you liked the movie. You hated the way he chose to make the movie, but you enjoyed the movie. I don't get it.
Yeah. Can I think? Can
you have another example? Because that
can
would help
I
me.
think that it's a bad movie, but still like it?
Sure. But when you say bad movie, like you think that he didn't execute the movie right, but you still like it, or you think that you just didn't like the way he executed it?
Both of those things. Yeah, I think it was a poorly made.
So
movie.
you think if the movie didn't have the editing and the cinematography like this, you would have liked it more.
And the music was different. Yeah.
You think you would have liked it more?
I think it would have been just a better movie. I don't know
It
if I
would
would
have
have liked
been
it. Here's the thing. I don't know if I would have liked it more. I'm a little torn. It's a love-hate relationship for this. I don't know. I think it's a bad movie, but I liked it.
I don't know. I think
that's fair.
I don't know if
I
you
like
can
some.
say that.
I
Can
like
you
some
say
bad
that?
movies.
I
definitely
mean,
like some
yeah,
bad movies.
but I also think technically speaking, there's nothing bad about it. Not technically in any way.
I know. Oh, we've
like,
had
that's
this
what I'm saying.
conversation for 2 hours and 48 minutes now.
You just hate the story.
No, I think the story's great.
I hate everything.
So you like
Jake
it
hates
technically, and you
Everything.
like the story.
No. I didn't say I liked it technically. You said you liked it technically.
But like you're saying that Robert Richardson and Oliver Stone just failed at doing their job in this movie.
I think Robert Richardson probably did a good job. I think Oliver Stone took all of that and then made this, and I think it could have been done better.
And even
differently or better?
even a DP, a great DP needs a good director.
Because I don't think
he
it was
failed as a
done
good director.
badly. I think
I
he
know.
did exactly.
We know that. We all agree
but
on
this is the
that.
thing.
You think
Can
it
you
was
agree-
you think it was done good.
Can you
Jake
agree?
hates it.
Can you agree that what Oliver Stone wanted to be on the screen is on the screen? Do you agree with that?
I don't know that for a fact. I I don't know. I hope so, because that's what a director would want to do.
I don't really think so.
What do you mean you don't really think so?
I think because it was such a sloppy execution, he probably didn't get exactly
there is
what he
nothing
wanted.
sloppy
And I
about
think even
the execution.
listening to him talk about it kind of proved that, because he was kind of like defensive.
I kind of agree
and
with
like,
that too.
I was trying to go for this, and it's just kind of this.
I kind of agree with that. He was such an apologist about it.
Weird.
It was
just
like,
the way he talked about it was like
he knows how bad it is.
Kind of realize.
I don't think it's sloppily though. Like
that
every weird angle that you guys hate so much was planned, like to do. Like they're like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, like we're gonna do that, we're gonna make this like in like.
But
that's
they weren't
not
necessary.
Sloppy. That's
I think
like,
other movies.
Necessary doesn't matter. Necessary doesn't matter. Sloppily isn't the word to use though. I think you guys are just haters of the aesthetic, and
you can just say haters and stop your sentence.
I'm pretty much a hater of the aesthetic. I'm not gonna lie.
You're a hater of the aesthetic, and that, but I don't think it's fair to say it's bad. Like that's just not fair.
This aesthetic is good in some scenarios, in some ways. I just don't think it was. Like,
I just think you just didn't like it.
Well.
Just say you didn't like it.
I didn't like it in this movie.
Yeah, for this movie, it was just everything was just it was just ramped up too much. It was a lot of unnecessary things. That said, I liked it.
Okay.
I think simple. The best way to describe this movie: too much.
Too much. I think Oliver himself would describe it like that.
Sure.
But
I just don't agree that it's bad. I just can't get behind that.
And then he would say, "I'm sorry."
No, I don't think he would say sorry.
The bad is all opinion, Schwartz. That's the way we do the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, tune in next week.
Would you recommend this movie?
I have a great recommendation about this movie. So 2018-ish, 2017-ish. On the road, Floribama, me, Joel, and BA are a crew. I have my laptop with me. BA says, yo, Schwartz, let's watch a movie on your laptop. The only movie I had on my laptop, U-turn. We watch it, end of the movie. He's got his headphones on, I got my headphones on, we're watching it. We're in a minivan watching it on the way to somewhere. At the end of the movie, I was like, yo, what'd you think? He goes, can't believe I just watched that movie. He's like, I can't believe that you would show me this movie after me. He's like, the fact that me asking you for a movie recommendation, the fact that you would recommend this to me is insane to me. And I thought to myself, that's awesome. I love that. I'm glad that he would have never watched this before, but he got to watch it and experience it.
But he did not enjoy it.
No, he said that it's not that he didn't enjoy it. He said he just never would have watched it on his own. He said it was fucked up and crazy, and he laughed out loud a few times and shit like that. But he's like, I would have never ever watched this movie if I wasn't like in this
It doesn't
situation.
sound like he was thanking you though.
I mean, thanking me or not, he got to experience it, and I'm happy about it. Just like I'm happy that Jake got to watch it.
Thank God we're still recording for that story.
That's a great story, dude.
That'll really keep the viewers.
You know what, Jake?
If somebody's listening 3 hours into this, they should listen to that story.
Yeah, they should. 100%.
And you know what? If you listen to that story and you know my DM, hit me up. I'll send you $100.